waters. Now, of course, what those waters are going to be, is it going to be a swamp? Is it going to be, well, I can't think of any more bodies of water, except maybe lake, because we cast at M80 the other day. We're going to be deciding the waters right here. Dust 2, Mirage, Inferno. How are we feeling about this, Josh?
So, you know, I actually, in my notes, did a little what I think the veto will be, and I was bang on, right? That doesn't happen too often, especially not with the third map as well. And the reason for that, sometimes it's super clear cut, but the reason for that actually goes a little bit deeper into this game, right? Now, Imperial's permaban is always ancient. That is a map that Mongols have liked to pick into so far this tournament, so that's a little bit of a curveball for them. When it comes to Dust 2, Imperial have picked it twice so far, and they've won both times. So no doubt that they're comfortable going into Dust 2, especially here in this tournament this weekend. You can draw data from previous tournaments and against other South American teams and stuff, but I think the most important thing is how they feel on it right now, and right now they feel good on it. The problem is that Mongols have had Dust 2 in their 2 matches that they've played so far. The 4 maps, 2 of them were Dust 2. They didn't pick either. It was picked against them, and they won it both times. So Mongols have proved that they're a really big threat on Dust 2, even though it's not one that they're picking into. So I thought maybe that would be a deterrent for Imperial, and maybe they'd try something else, which is why I kind of put Dust 2, and then I put a question mark next to it, because I wasn't 100% there. Mongols picking Mirage is no surprise at all. They picked it against Fnatic. They won it. It wasn't super comfortable. It was 13-11, but still, they looked very, very good there, and it is one that just generally they've been fantastic on. They have like an 80% win rate on it or something. They're fantastic there on Mirage. So,
hi guys. Hi.
So when we saw
Бүгдээрээ шөнө мэндэ.
against NIP the other day, they lost. I mean, it went to double OT. It was a close game, but I don't think that you can compare NIP to the Mongols at all at the moment. I think Mongols
Shuniment.
And then when it comes to Inferno as that decider, to be honest, it could have been any one of those final 3. But yeah, it just sort of makes sense as a decent middle ground for both sides. If it comes with how things are teed up with map 1 and 2, I actually wouldn't be surprised if we saw
За Thunder Big World 2025 Championship тэмцээний плей-оффын хамгийн ихний тоглолт Mongols versus Imperial багийн тоглолтод эхлэхэд бэлэнсэн байна. Imperial.
Especially because you have to consider that both of these teams are very comfortable with exploring within their map pool, right? Even though like Mongols go for that nuke ban, right? When they have
Thunder Big World.
They would also not entirely shy away from it if push came to shove, right? This is a team that because they only ban out Vertigo and everything else is fair game, you could essentially see this team go for and the sword. And they've actually found a pretty reasonable parallel when you look at
Монголцын тоглолтоо үзээд тэгээд тэрэн дээр нэмээд Keydrop сайтн дээр юугаа нэмнэ. Gift оруулна. Та бүхэн gift-д оролцохыг хүсэх юм бол MaaRaa гэдэг промо кодыг ашиглаж $2 цэнэглэлт хийлгээд тэгээд тэрхүү giveaway шууд оролцох боломжтой гэсэн үг шүү. За. Удахгүй дэл тоглолтын эхний мапын завсралгаанаар gift оруулаад тэгээд яаж оролцохын заагаад өгье. Тэгэхээр өнөөдрийн стрим giveaway дээр байна. Анх удаа giveaway үзэж байгаа юм шүү би ч та. Өнөөдрийн стрим giveaway дээр явах нь байна. Тийм ээ солоосаа. Тэгэхээр та бүхэн Keydrop сайт руугаа ороод бэлдээд байж байгаарай.
Might actually be the best case scenario for Mongols, because if we go to the third map, I think with how uncomfortable Inferno is and all the little timings that you need to be perfect on, I really do heavily favor teams that are going to have a pretty big sample size on it. Like you look at the Mongols, yes, they've won most of their games, but you put a microscope on it, you realize they've only played 6 of them, right? And you know their wins are pretty impressive. They've won against Eternal Fire, and Eternal Fire is actually looking pretty good. As of late especially. So I'm not really sure where we're going to be.
Энд одоо яагаад зураатай эхлэл болоод эхлэв дээ. 10 цаг болсон тоглолт нь одоогийн байдлаар эхлэегүй байна. За нийт $850,000 шагналын сантай Thunder Big World 2025 тэмцээний плей-оффын тоглолтууд эхэлсэн өнөөдрөөс. За хамгийн ихний тоглолтоор бол Imperial болон Монгол зугагийн тоглолтууд Бразилийн Imperial болон Монгол улсын монголцсон.
the start of last month. But
За эхний мапа Ancient-ийг шууд Imperial-ийн бандсан байна. Монголцынхны тоглолтыг мап байгаа. За тэнгүүт шууд Монголцын перма бангаараа Vertigo бандчиж байгаа. Vertigo бандангууд Imperial-аас шууд Dust 2 ихний мапаараа пиклж байгаа юм байна. За манайхан Citadel-аа сонгосон байгаа байна. Хоёр дахь мапаараа Монголцынхаа маань Mirage пиклээд Imperial-ийн Citadel-аа сонгосон байна. За тэнгууд 3 дахь бангаар бол Imperial-ийн Anubis бандаад 4 дахь бангаараа Монголцынхан маань Nuke бандангуудаа сүүлийн мапер Inferno гаргаад ирж байгаа юм байна. За жоохон зуурах шинжтэй болоод явчихвгүй юу энэ тоглолт чинь одоо.
Yeah, could have been a good opportunity for a little bit of a punish pick and maybe throw the Mongols off a little bit.
Сахал махал ургаж ургацсан байж та. Сахалаа авъя та. Маргааш ажилтаа явахдаа нэг сахал махлаа авъя та. За каструуд нь гараад ирж байна. Каструуд гараад ирэхээр ч тоглолт эхлэх болсон гэж бодохоор л байна да.
What's in store for us here, but I think it's going to be a Mongols victory. I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
You know what? I wouldn't be too surprised either, and that's why that was my prediction personally, but I cannot wait to see whether or not it is going to go.
Оо, энэ чихвчиг манай Месагийнхаа ашигладаг шүү. Энэ нүднийчлэлтэй залгын чихвчиг. Яг ингэж цэвэрхэн тоглолт гаргаад байна. Оо, хоёр кастер нэ байсан юм биш үү? Энэ бүдүүн залг би тэр тэмцэнүүд дээр байн гарах юм да.
I've been very impressed with South America over the course of this group stage, and Imperial is one of the key teams that has impressed me one of the utmost times alongside Bestia, who will also
Өнөөдөр give
completely any of these maps here.
3 хоногийн give 4 хоногийн give явуулах. За 4 хоног ч арай хачаангад 3 хоногийн give явуулч тээ. Манай стрим дээр лайка дараад тэгээд гоё зурхаа дараад ширээгээд хүлээж байгаарай guys.
Obviously Hayes and Trap made throughout the last
Giveaway тэшүү залуусаа.
You're looking at the Mongols. Those are probably the two teams that
Хай бро 2-0.
If you want to make it into big tournaments, right? If you want to test yourselves and know that you're ready for that big competition, the thing is when you're
Лан юм гэнэ. Плей-оффын эхний шатналчлаар онлайн. За миний хамарч явах. Миний хамрыг битээ анхаар. Миний хамар хамаагүй өнөөдөр giveaway хамаатай. Миний хамрыг харахгүй зүгээр энэ доотлын энэнийг харалтаа brothers. Шинэ спонсортой болсон байгаа сте. MaaRaa гэдэг промо кодыг ашиглах юм бол энэ шүү дээ guys. За тоглолт маань эхэлчлээ те. Тоглолт руу орцгоё залуусаа. Тэгээд дараа нь хэдүүлээ кейс рүү орцгоо. Imperial versus Mongols. За техно дуалисттэй. За нөгөө талаас бол Imperial-ийн 3 тоннел. Техногийн царай харагддаг ш. 900 царай бас харагддаг ш. Камерныхан дэлгэцэн наацсан байдаг ш. За ихний контакт, Blitz. Мэд дээрээс нэг тоглогч мэдээлэл авсан.
That utility in hand, the first contact instantly block off the entryway towards the bomb site. Got two players.
За, бэр. Арсарс. Смок. Байна. Смок одоо л ихтэй. Смок хийхгүй шууд байлна гэж байгаа юм уу? За, унтчлаа. За тэр оронд бол Blitz. Синзу. Синзугийн дабл кил. Blitz 2 тооногоос. За сүүлийн тоглогч Winnie. Нэг эсрэг 4. За мэд дээрээс 900-ыг онгоочж байгаа юм байна. Энэ гацаад нэг үү юу? Сонин шинэ FPS санаад байгаа юм шиг харагдаад байна тий. За амарчаас эхний раунд авлаа манайхаа. Гой.
Impressive player so far of the Mongols in this event, right? We're looking at the two best of threes. The Mongols have probably been the most comfortable team.
Эхний раунд авлаа.
Across the entire online stage of the Thunder Big World Championship. A 2-0 win over Cloud.
Thunder Big World Championship. Манайхаа лайк дараад гоё зүрхээ дараад чирээгээд.
13-11s by the way overall across those four maps, but still it's just 2-0s. They're still making it work. And Blitz as of right now is the second highest rated player on the T side in the entire event. After Thomas and of course
нөгөө
a little bit later on.
тим хөглтэй гэнэ байдаг шүү дээ. Хайд чи нөгөө хоол хийгээд байдаг. Холгонтой хөглөлтийн киноны тоогооч хүмүүс өгш. Тэр чи бас мөлөлтөө. Ааших баг нэг мөлөлтөө өгш. Тэгтээ зарим талаараа жоохон өөр өгш.
They want to deal with the Mongols. The thing is as well, you know the Mongols are going to be bringing in a lot of confidence going into this game as well, right?
Нэрээ идэх юм бол за гоцаад байгаарай даа балаар идэх. Төвчгнэт тэгш. Хичээл хатарсан. Зөөж.
Top of their group as you would expect as well. Just a lot of confidence posted by them. You're right about the captain firepower put up by Blitz and everything. Individual
бас гоё ойдог нэд байна.
Of course lined up their first round with particular ease Imperial. Wait a little bit to get.
За дахиад түнэл тэр оронд бол трайг хэн хусаад байна манайхаас. Трайг бас нэлээд олоолглаа да. За дахиад бэр өгөх гээд байна. Гарботай, арморго. Эко раунд. Эчнэс. Оо камер нь бүр техногийн камер бүр. Хан дэлдвэр тэнгэр хараад тахлаа. Амарс. Пүү. Амар. Хоёр кил хийлээ.
Rifles aplenty to get back involved in this matchup and to start things off on Dust 2 which
Тинчнээс бол Сензу 3-ын гачиж байгаа юм шүү.
The Imperial side are going to take it. Probably has to be Dust 2.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it, right? Going into this game, I mean, Dust 2 has been overall.
Манайхан ч нүрээ нугадах бодолтой юм да.
We saw it yesterday against NIP, dropping only 2 rounds, besting Legacy in a 13-8 fashion, taking wins over teams like the Red Cannons, really close games against teams like.
Замн халайк дараа.
In IM Rio, yes, it was a loss that they conceded against Cole, but still an incredibly close one during EPL. They were able to take down.
Толгоо өөр дэшнтэй явахгүй амд өгсөн харагдахгүй нэг нэ. Юу гэсэн үг юм? My god. Толгоогоо хайжуулах хэрэгтэй юм би. Нэрээ би хад скин хаадсан биз дээ. Би одоо тэгээд толгоогоо хайжуулах юм бэ.
Yeah, I mean, just even using Dust 2 as a jumping off point, right? He was the highest rated player in that NIP series for the Imperial side, so it's a lot of confidence he's posted later on.
Oh, би зүгээр display capture аваа хвчлээ.
Even then, impactful moments have been considered by him over the course of other matches as well.
My
9-10, landing Descenti first and foremost here on the Mongol side. Unfortunately, no one's allowed to have any sort of impact back. Norway does get a couple of picks on the AK, however. Trying to turn the situation around. Up here towards top of long. Tries backed up with the Galil towards spawn. Maybe about to run into Techno. Knives
амар техно. Империалыг ч бараг идэж ууж байгаа юм шүү дээ манайх. Зүгээр бүшилж алж юм аа.
From Techno, he gets the kill, gets back down low, realizes I've got an MP9, that AK is out of range, I can't possibly risk it to just push and try and go for the rifle. I'm just gonna let him have all the space in the world. He's got a 1 versus 3. He is the one that needs to be paranoid about every single angle around the map. It's kind of like one of those moments where you give him almost too much for his liking.
Энэ олон логоны ажид би өөрийнхөө логог барьлах гэж нэрээ зовх юм аа. За нэг мэдсэн чинь no way ганцаараа үлдсэн байна. No way.
He's watching that mid fight as well, so no way chances to rotate back in towards short and try and establish himself on the A-bomb site are pretty minimal and all. Very few options.
Imperial-ын камера айгуу гоё тавьчихжээ тий. За техно төрүүлжлөө буудахгүй бол баг ална гэсэн ойлголт бол баг. Тэгэхээр яаж хийж байгаа төрүүлээд буудах хэрэгтэй шалгасан. Арц. Хөөе. Сая барыг даралт байсан юм шүү. За хөл алдсан. Ай. Ай нэт. За шууд тавьсан.
And 9-10 is going to try and bait him to miss on the timer. In the end, the Molotov's going to force him up and out into the open. Flash is catching him blinded, and there really is a little movement he can maneuver.
Хүү, USB-гээр хэрэгчлээ ш.
But 9-10 USB is good for the kill.
This is absolutely perfectly played by 9-10, right? I mean, no one does give himself the best chance he could, right? He isolates the first player, finds the kill onto Techno, gets a bomb plan out of it, so at least you're going to get that bonus.
Өчигдөр Синзүү Дастер дээр сайн тоглоодсан. Стрим дээр. Ер нь бол Монголцын Даст 2 дээр алдахгүй хөө. Imperial ер нь бол дэлтгүй юм шиг байна да манайх.
To be fair, I'm a fan of it. A lot of teams will probably go for the instant reinvestment on the back of getting the bomb plan, getting 3 kills, but you know you can still do a lot of damage with the upgrade.
Асаа оногдсон нөөсөн зөөр оногдчлаа тий. Scout-нд оногдчлаа. Хөө! Гарч ирээд нэг дарддаг юм да нөө. Апын алдчихлахгүй. Апын өгж болохгүй. Хөөй хөөй. Хөө тэгснэ өөрөө смокер дараалцдаг шүү. Сензүү.
This has gone from a damaging round to a potentially winnable one here for Imperial.
This is so difficult right now to make a decision, right? I mean, the only reason that you're going to see
Зан гарбот нөхдөд чи яах гэдэг нэг.
Anyone trying to push through that mid smoke, but it's still going to be to the back of your mind. And Imperial, this is not a round that originally should have been winning.
Хөрхөн damage.
On top of no way, but
урагшилтгүй айдарч бүр таг зогсчлоо.
Thankfully for them, Imperial don't have an abundance of util, but they still have one flash and a couple smokes to use.
Одоо гоё ярна need. За бас хөрхөн. Бас баг зэрэг damage очруулаад авч. Замзины гүйс орсон. Манайхны нээд. Хөө хоёрыг бас айс. Эмзэниа. Билиц эмзэниагийн 3 дахь нь. За асуудал байсангүй мэд дээр энэ ч бариад авна. Техно.
It's a fantastic recovery as well. It's the Mongols just giving us a really good example.
Wow, fantastic baby.
Even though they're really young, even though they're not a European squad.
Замын лайк дээр ширээгээд үзэр залуулсан.
Is making them look like a really well drilled.
Лайк дээр ширээгээрээ.
Recognize that's not a forest fight. It's just a half fight. They're not going to have a lot of util. We're still going to have the advantage when it comes down to the weaponry as well. And that utility damage was
Монгол үзэж ийн гэдэг пост оруулах хэрэгтэй юм шүү дээ тий.
When it comes down to utility usage in general, whether it be the damage or the flash assist in that entire event, you're looking at 30 util damage nearly per round for them, which is a great number, by the way. It's something like 29.1. Yeah, eyes on those HEs dropped into our CT. Imperial are going to have a really tough time outplaying the Mongols when it comes down to the timing of those.
За. Long дээр Blitz opening Philips-ийг унгасан. Дээрээс нь long controlтай 2 AW бид дээр тулаад хөөх try ч юм уу ямар унгаач. За smoke задлаад гараад ирж байна энэ хоёр. Хөөй. Эй, за нэг нь унгаас трейдлж байгаа юм байна. За бэр орсорс.
This is not going to be an easy one though. Blitz is already low on HP. You don't have a single smoke. You have a Molotov, an HE, and a flash. If you don't get a kill early on, I mean, a safe could be an option here as well.
За бомба тавьдаг та. За флаш дээр гарсан. Хөө, ёо, Blitz нэмзэн яа. Амар ангас. Нэг эсрэг нэг. Нэг эсрэг хоёр юм биш. За гарч ирээд Blitz. Тархицсан. Тоглолт өнөөс 5-0. 5-0. Гоё ретек. Флаш энэ ямар гоё гарва.
That's the conversation that me and you had before we jumped onto broadcast, right? And I told you I didn't know what to expect out of today. The one thing I'm hoping for, we're going to see Counter-Strike that makes a lot more sense. So far the Mongols
Флаш энэ ямар гоё гараад ирвэ. Ямар гоё унгаа ч та.
haven't been doing anything extra. They've just been doing everything that they should, right? Playing the percentages. And as we said, a 3 versus 3 retake onto the B bomb side. You probably have to initiate the first contact before the T's get comfortable in post plans. So the moment that you hear
Монголцын CS-ийг л амар амархан юм шиг л харагдуулаад байдаг юм да буудалт модалт. Тэгээ яг ингээд тоглохоор мөр амар хэцүү өгш. Монголцын л амар гоё амархан юм шиг харагдуулаад. Буудалт модалт нь айгуу гоё орж мараад те.
What? 10 kills in 5 rounds and this is across all 5.
Эцэн байна уу? Одоо энэ тоглолт нь Best of 3 тоглолтын дээр очиж юм бол шууд лангийн тэмцээнд оролцох хэрэгтэй болно. Шагилийн сан ч гэсэн бүр амар их шагилийн сан мөнгө авах боломжтой болчихно гэсэн үг. Тийм учраас энэ тоглолтын дээр хожих хэрэгтэй гэсэн үг яалтчих. Яаж хийж байгаа л хожих. Яаж хийж байгаа л хожих хэрэгтэй.
They could find themselves in a pretty sticky situation unless they start winning rounds ASAP.
Summed it up pretty nicely. Double ops remain for the Mongols side. Cannot get brought in by Try on Imperial, who did that.
Монголцын маань
Opening pick towards mid.
дараас нь 5 раунд аваад эхэллээ те.
Towards that, but not on this particular occasion. Norway's going to take that mid aggression again and start pressing up towards this short take. Good Molotov timing there from the CT side. I'm just going to block him from actually getting up to the stairs angle.
Yeah, it's minute 15. You haven't seen anything. You don't have eyes on middle. Nothing's happening on B. Nothing's happening on long. You just deploy that Molotov, keep them at bay for a little bit longer. And as of right now, Imperial are trying to play that slow default that actually worked out really
За short run-ыг
nicely.
нээд оруулж ирэх байхаа.
Mongols are
Need.
not giving them anything. And that's
Hey.
another HE that's not
Ерөөсө short-ийн нээдэрс амжилтлахгүй юм те манай.
does a little bit of chip damage.
Well, 2 more as well towards spawn for Blitz. They're going to put one out towards the mid doorways, and good for Imperial to counteract that, aware that they must have dropped some of those HEs into the spawn angle, and we'll just opt to let Blitz waste them away. So not as effective in this round as it was.
Багууд хүртэл Монголд тоглох хэцүү байдаг штеп гин. Тэр нь ч ойлгомжтой л да. Гэхдээ хөө за тэр Блиц маг задлж байгаа нэг нь гачлаа. За мэдээр нь орсон туннелээр орох гэж байна. Сензу нэг нь унгасан. За трейдийг оролцож байна. За 3-3 Блиц улаа. За амар дүүл авсан эмзэн ёо. За хоёр тоглох сайт дотроо манайхан сайт эзлэн 20 секунд үлдсэн. Эмзэнийг амар хаач.
Flashes will come forward to the CT side. 910's going to evade them, start moving on to site, but they're running out of time here.
За try тэн чи Блицийг бариад авч байгаа юм байна. 901 унгасан ч цаг болцсон байна. Тэгтээ унгасаа. Акаг наваад явсан. За анхны раунд авчиж байгаа юм байна Imperial. Манай монголцын бол тоглолтыг аягүй амархан болгож харагдаад байдаг. Буудалтууд нь амар оновчтой.
Going in for a B finish. This is what we saw yesterday as well on multiple occasions, and it makes it really difficult to read unless the CTs get aggressive in towards long, in towards short, in towards the B extremities, because they don't really know if it's going to be a B split. They don't really know if it's going to be a short exit towards the end there. Still great effort by the Mongols. I mean, you
Өнөөдөр стрим giveaway-тэй шүү залуусаа.
They just won a round, and they're going to be going into this one with 3 Galils, a scout, and a Mac 10.
Giveaway-тэй явж байгаа шүү guys. Key drop-тэй. Key giveaway. Хөө нэг нь унгаа гайсан юм зэн ёо. Smoker шүршсээр байгаа лаа ичлээ штэ өөрөө.
Really just within the first 15 or seconds of the round. Mongols extremely effective with punishing Imperial's attemptive setups basically just to take any
Харийн тоглолтын үнд үзлээ. MaaRaa-ыг тоглохгүй байгаа хэрнээ.
Mongols always seem to find an answer.
Диглүүд нь яагаад байгаа юм бэ? Эхний map юм уу гэнэ? Тийм эхний map аа. Йой. За энэ ч бас левгүүд үйл авсан да сензүү дээр. За тэгэнгүүт 910 шууд шорт урагшлаад контролт чиж чинь. Smoke руу. дахиад бодоод унгаачлаа Имзинио. Имзинэд смок нөлөөлт бол. Дахиад лонг дээр усаа хийсэн шүү дээ. Йоо зүгээр. Имзинио зүгээр. Уураач дуурж тастчих.
Active pressure there from the T bases, even if it doesn't cover off all of long.
Ай.
Meanwhile, fights from
Оо. Техно, Имзинио дахиад смок руу бодоод унгаачлаа. 3 дахь смок нэг хийлэн бэр. 25 секундын дээр буугаас эвлсэн тоглолтод нэрцээ. 6-1. Замын халайка дараад гоё шийдэгэд үзэрэй залуулсан. Гоё лайка дараарай. За тэгээд өнөөдрийн стримийн спонсороор дараалал Melbet. Та бүхэн пин коммент дээр байгаа линкэн дээр дарж ороод шинэ хэрэглэгчийн бүртгэлээ үсгээд MaaRaa Mail гэсэн промокодыг ашиглах юм бол эхний зэнгэлэн дээрээс 130% бонус авах боломжтой. Эхний зэнгэлэлтээ бүр 130% үсгээд авах боломжтой гэсэн үг. Юу билетийн зүгээр зураг өгж идэг шээсэн гэж. Яадаг зураг вэ дээр? За тэгээ хоёр дахь спонсор бол Keydrop. CS-ийн кейс онгойлгодог сайт байгаа. Та бүхэн MaaRaa промо кодыг ашиглаад эхний зэнгэлэлтэн дээр 10% бонус 50 цент авах боломжтой нэмээд. Тэгээд өнгөө 2 кейс нэх боломжтой гэсэн үг. Бас өнгөө кейсүүдийн оролтод үзэж бас болно шүү guys. Гэтэ $2 зэнгэлэлт хийх хэрэгтэй. Та бүхэн $2-оос дээш $2 болон түүнээс дээш зэнгэлэлт хийгээд 2 кейс өнгөө онгоолгоод тэгээд эхний зэнгэлэлтэн дээр 10% бонус аваад тэгээд 50 цент өнгөө авна. MaaRaa гэдэг промо кодыг ашиглах юм бол за тэн зүбэр хаалга нэвт буудаад нэг хэлээчлээ. Хүү за мэд тэр Philips сэнзүүг нь гагаад авч чинь 4-3 за Philips өөрөө болоо. Philips За шортер орсон. За амзаны өнчөө хүлээж агаад нэгээр нь. Оо! Юу болоод байна? За 911-ийн ангацсан тэр эдэн дээр. За. Бомбтой тоглогчулдсан. Юу вэ? 2-9-2 юм байна.
Waiting for someone to prop out from the bomb site. He must be able to plant it for sure or plant it behind big box. That much is information that is going to be known here.
За боксныхаа цаана ногдчиход байгаа юм биш. Гарч ирэхгүй. За баг-багаар урагшлаад байгаа. 900-аар харах нь. За унгаас нь техно. Сүүлийн тоглож шаанаа мэдсэн. Цаг боллоо. Техног хэрэгтэй хийчлээ. За гэттэй юм уу? Гэттэй юм байна. Тоглолтын нэрцээ 7-1. Яа, Imperial-ийн граунд ахад бол маш ойрхон байлаа. Бэлтцээ камер авахгүй болсон зүгээр зураг нь ингэж үлдсэн байдаг шээ.
They played it as best as they could, but that HP difference really caught up to them. Phelps fell so quickly on short, and the last man on site, I mean, he was on like, I think a similar number to what 910 was on. Meant that USP was good enough to get the quick kill in, and it's just...
Яраа нь гацхгүй нэ дүрс нь гацаад. Ямар сайн юм. Гацаад байна guys. Нэрээ юу? Нэрээ юу guys? Гацаад байна нэрээ. Гацхгүй болгоо тийм ээ. Гацхгүй гах гэж найдаад байгаа шүү дээ. Гацхгүй гоостэй guys. Рефреш хийгээ бараа. Тохиромжоо онтроод асаа.
They were able to isolate the goose rifle. 910 missed the timing. He still got a kill, but it doesn't really make a difference when you lose your bomb site. So this is that type of round where we can say Imperial were catch the Mongols off guard a little bit and they still lose it.
Битүү уцсан дээр амар задгаа бэлдээ өмсгч ямар тэнэг харагдтий дээ. Яа тэр бэлэмэлэнэс яа гэдэг байгаа. Ховцтой зөгцдөг наацтай. Гацаад байна. Хоёрын 3 үний нэг нь гацаад байна гэсэн юм чинь гацхгүй байна л гэсэн үг шүү. За, юу вэ? Smoke роботод техног гачиж байгаа юм уу? За, 900-ыг харчлаа. Ёо, драйвер 900-ыг 2 дахь нь гачлаа. Манай 900 жоохон нойрмог байгаа маа. Бусдаар бол гайгүй. Хамбаг сам өрлөө балераа. Билээц. Наа ч одоо гараад ирж шít. Сом толцсон. Тэгнээ тэр. Сомын толцсон. Мохоос. Хүү нээд явна амар орчихвоо.
Zeno will need to come in and provide support, or they're going to have to call it a save.
I mean, ideally, you'd want to call a save. Thing is, Senzu just can't get out of here, right? He's trapped. And Mizuno's thinking about a way to actually help him out, but best thing you can do is just stick around. Worst part is they know they have him locked in.
За мэдээлэл аваад ухарчиж байгаа юм байна дэгмүтээ. Нэвтлээд унгах гэдэг үзээд байгаа ч байна. За энэ удаад л ялтчихв. Империалийнхаа раунд авлаа. Яа, Симзинийг хотго дийлэмэл гоё нөө. Аа, эвгүй аргач.
Like I said, the opportunity could open up with a reset, and they found their round win to just get that. The AWP staying in with about a little bit of
Дуун зүгээр дүрснэ гацаад. Би давхар үзэл юм даа бол нуцаараа. Тэр би уцаараа давхар үзэл яваад байгаа шүү. Эсвэл ютубер ороод үзчихэж guys. Кастер MaaRaa гэж хайгаад бол ороод үзчихэж. Easy шүү. YouTube дээр давхар явж байгаа шүү guys. Techno. Techno 5-7 өөдөөс нь 2 тоглогч. Аптай тоглогч мэдээлэл авсан. За энэ харагдсан. Ялчгүй дээрэс нь 2-ыг нь гачиж байгаа юм байна. Манайхаас 900-аар аптай юм шүү. Нэг нь гацсан.
There's not much to make a difference here. They're starting to press on towards the A bomb site. Two players from Long Mizuno held back behind Smokes to try and deal with it.
Дахиад Smoker гарч ирэх гээд байна манай. Баригдлаа. Барадар баригдлаа. За, Kagen. Япын авах гэж байгаад өөрөө бас харагчлаа. Techno.
There's no further threat in the Mongols here.
Yeah, fantastic impact there from Norway. Decently, right? We praise him for.
За манайх лайк дараарай, ширээ гэрээ guys. Лайк дараарай шүү. Лайк дараад үзээрэй guys. Лайк дараад ширээ гэрээ үзээрэй.
Until the end, but Imperial finally showing some teeth here. Might have taken them a little bit too long to get back into this one, and actually a fun little fact. If you're talking about the Mongols and their games against Brazilian teams, they are currently
boom. За энэ ч бас 3-1 шидэл гэл сараад ирлээ дээ.
The last Brazilian team they were able to beat was Legacy, and that
Манайхаас их раунд явж байгаа.
So it's been a long time.
За техник барьсан.
Mongols still hold the lead here against Imperial in this matchup.
Yeah, you know what's the thing? I honestly believe Brazilian teams have a good matchup against the Mongols.
За эдгээр чи бомб зомбот тавихгүй ягаад хүмүүс хайжгүй гэдэг наад. Манай сэнзэг сэтэ дээр авах гэж байгаа юм шиг харагдлаа шүү дээ.
The fact that they're going to be taking a lot more space, they're going to be going for a lot more fights. If you're the Mongols, you're spending time in Europe, you're playing international events, you're trying to learn how to play proper Counter-Strike, right? Play the percentages, make the save calls. Even if you have good individuals, try and be on par with some of the best teams in the world. And then a wild Imperial comes into the mix, and they're just running around. Phelps is pushing Smokes.
Kidropter заавал $2 гэхгүйгээр $2 item deposit гэдэг шууд оролцож болно guys. Заавал $2 мөнгөөр гэхгүйгээр шууд өөртөө байгаа хэрэггүй нэг $2-3 item-аар deposit гэдэг оролцож болно шүү guys. За. Дараа нь тайлбарлаад өгнө. 910. Long дээрээс opening. За смок тадлаад байгаа шүү дээ. За энэ додод тэр молын ямар мохоо тархдаг юм бэ? Йоо. За түнэлэр нэг урагшлж болохгүй дээ. Нөгөөдөг чи бас дээшээ араас очлаа. Нэг унагасан. За шууд трейдэд авчиж чинь. Destiny. Юу лээ? Destiny-г солирч чинь. Destiny. За энэ жижигхэн модны араас хэмзэн юу их гэдэг. Mezinho.
Yeah, now he can go for support. He's got plenty of veto as well. That lower push.
Smoker coverлаад гэсэн нөгөөтний smoke-ыг ашиглах нь гэсэн үг бай. Йой. За 900-ыг мэд дээр ирсэн. Мэдтээ би оруулах гэдэг. Мэдтээ би явчлаа. За технор орсон. Хүү тэр спрей ямар орчихваа. За тэр мөр нарагдаад байгаа. Йой тархитчдаг гинэ. Йой босч ирээ тархитлаа да дэсэн. За ихний хас хит вэ? 7 7-5. Болчлаа доо тий. Хөөе 2хан раунд зэрэг болчихж байгаа юм тий. Imperial ингээл барьчихж байгаа юм уу? За арай үгүй хөө. Манайхан одоо тэр ортлаас алаадаг хөө. Манайхан амар хичээж олон раунд авсан чинь нөгөө талаас 5 раунд аваад тэнцүүлчдэг гин. Бараг л тэнцүүлчдэг гин. I don't know, compared with his performances from 1 year ago. And this is how you know that this guy's got a high. Блиц мим гарснаас хойш блиц үсмэсээ янзлаад суудаг болсон юм шүү дээ. Царайлаг дээр тавьчихсан юм шүү дээ нөтрэ. Өнөөдөр царайлаг дээр тавьчихжээ. Монголоос миний ганц шүтдэг тоглогч гэдэг юм чи. Билет шиг болохыг хүсдэг юм өсөндөө хөө. Imperial to recover what was a 7-1 at one point is all important to their CT side now as they move over to. За ихнийх 7-5 өндөрлсөн. Одоо тэрортээс Монголынхаа манд тоглоом тоглоно. Very important map pick to win over the Mongolian camp. Really set in on Phelps and Descenti on the defensive line. Descenti is the man towards the B side. За нөгөө Мохон хөтөд дуул старцсан яах гэдэг. Армори паснаас сондог. Би дуул старц хоёлаа. Та нар яа игээд. Воо! Суугаа гараад ирсэн. Йоо, сэнцөө. Суугаал гараад ирсэн чиж. Нэг хоёр дуалээс нь хоёул онс. Нэг ин авчиж байгаа байна. Them from Descenti's casualty because that could have been both sets of jewelries being taken out. Now he holds inside of the tunnels here. All the Mongols look around this corner. Senzi certainly feels like he wants to. За хин дэлэх вэ гэсэн Сэнзүү. The B site is completely collapsed and Blitz is there to cut rotations in from mid. They may well be coming out from CT spawn. The player to extend towards long, but yeah, I think you're right. Just hold. За сэтгэн төгж байц. Сэтэ бол бат.
It's absolutely pointless. Yeah, and the worst part about all of this, Imperial didn't have a bad setup. With Phelps' position, the moment that he gets challenged and killed, you're just thinking, okay, they had a default. They were starting to walk away in towards lower and probably up short. That's why you see the double push. Always, also the moment that you lose that mid player, you're always going to look for a reaction somewhere on the map because your forces are divided pretty much, right? You have those two B players that are isolated. They have no one to support them towards middle. So if they wait out for long enough, they could get split on. So they need to push tunnels. It's just by design, absolutely perfectly played by the Mongols.
За Blitz
Even look to take these last
Нэг
couple of
унгаач чинь
players
тийч.
out. No way will not carry his
Замаанахан
carry.
пистол раунда асуудаг болсон.
Little bit of investment that
Ямар
won't
ч.
be able to relieve in the force buy if they so choose to do so. Might make those force buy
Хүндрэлгүйгээр авчиж байгаа юм байна.
pretty unviable for Imperial now. Pressure on the CT side with no catch bonuses. The Mongols establish 9 on their board. That's what they're looking for in the eco, and the 4-round deficit to ensue to really put the pressure on the Imperial side when their first set of rifles come out here.
Сантлан дээр нь бигийн лого байсан сая.
Yeah, we should be looking at 9 for sure. And an interesting angle, by the way, going into this game. Those are actually the two best pistol round teams in the event so far. The Mongols have won 87.5% of their pistols.
За энэ best of 3 тоглолтын дээр очих юм бол Германд лангийн ивентэд оролцох
After winning the pistol round.
тэмцээнийхээ хэргийг
Now
авна.
the percentage is going to be even higher because they
Плей-оффынхоо.
off here.
Лангийн ивентэд оролцох хэргийг авна.
But still, usually quite good when it comes down to the pistols. So
За
far,
мэд дөрөв.
completely shot. Completely
Нэг нь унгасан, хоёрыг унгасан. Хажидлаас нь
They're easy pickings for
туслаад байгаа.
Mac 10.
За Мактентиг орж ирж байгаад мөнгө хийнэ гэсэн чинь нэгээс илэг унгасан гоо те. За яах вэ?
To the T side will not be too much of a massive concern. Imperial again hunting.
Тийм ээ. Бигийн лого шүү дээ. Бигийн bootcamp дээр байгаа юм уу? Imperial-ийнх нь уу? Really битүү биг байж тэгшинс.
11-5 could be our next rifle round scoreline, and
Биг ч өөрөө Германы баг шүү дээ.
Very very tough to ask for here.
Тэнгүүд Imperial ч шууд Германаас тоглоод байгаа юм уу? Хожигдох юм бол шууд гэртээ ярих нь шүү. Яхүд. Хожины гэсэн сэтгэл зүйтэй ирсэн боловч хожигдоод буцхан дээр. Тэгж идэртэй. Тоглолтоос багч. Хөө тэр амар тайминг бай. Йой! Хоёрыг осоо ичлээ. Decent чинь.
5-on-3 established. He doesn't quite get caught by Blitz. He was looking like he may have been done. He falls back away from the upper tunnels and in towards the B bomb site. Mongols cannot seem to give chase. I protect that bomb there from Blitz. Imperial just hunker down, knowing they don't have to make any further pushes against the T side, who will form up.
Өнөөдөр нь тоглогчид ингэж өргөднө гэж бодсон ч. Ой, боолын дээр шатаад унахна гэсэн Вини унгаач чинь.
Comes back to bite him. Thankfully, Vinny was there to support, but now he's going to be all alone, and it's a 1v1 between the IGLs. If Blitz gets that kill, this is the B bomb side secured here, and the Mongols might have a shot.
Зарагчлаа.
Perfectly with the Fango Blitz.
Хэмзээний яванагаас л дөрөв.
There's just Mizzino left.
Нэг.
1v4. It's all about the damage. First kill.
Ачлал нэг дахиад нэг байгаа юм дэг бай.
And that will be Phelps securing the round for Imperial. So, first things first, you get a buy round on the CT side. You finally make it look a little bit more comfortable. And guess what? Who's the hero again? It's Decent.
Yeah, just the man of the hour, it seems, for the Imperial side. Highlighting him earlier about his development over the last year within this roster, and that development has shown up several times over the course of this competition. And now here we are. He's the difference maker. 12 on the board, top fragger for the CT side. Insertion so quickly into the lower tunnels again. He found so much success with.
Зэмэн лайк дээрээ guys. Лайк дээр чирэг үзэрэн guys. За гүс. Эй, nice Engineer. Шууд унгаас. Ардаас нь Decent-ийг толцсон. Туннел нэг байгаа гэсэн мэдээл. Хакатай өмнө чиж байгаа юм байна. За need chip damage. Хүү дабл нэг хийжлээ тийш Карло. Дабл нэг синзүү орчиж. Шамар ивгүй. Nice синзүү. Синзүү? Хоёрыг урсайц. Сэвэл. Өөр хийх юм байхгүй та нарт. Сэвэл чадахгүй юм байна. Өө синзүү унгаач байгаа юм байна. 3 килог ажиллаа.
He's got to run away with the AK because the Mongols have responded in kind.
This is just a B play on Dust 2 in a nutshell, by the way. You're on the T side. You get a 4v4 post plant. it's even a 3v4 in
Юу гэж сайрлалтын бай хүмүүсийг гэлс амар унгаалаа да. Тэр Карен дабл нээд бас левгүй. Энзинэг бас айчиж байгаа юм шүү дээ. Би сэнзүү гэж үзчих.
On the other side of the smoke, spamming them down. They just can't get in the bomb side. Vincent does so much work there. That's the reason.
Дахиад бодно. Оноод унгаачих.
You just feel a lot safer when you have decent in towards lower. But what can you really do about this one? I mean, it was straight up impossible for Imperial to even think about retaking that bomb side.
Bottlenecked and the Mongols just kept spraying.
16. 4 раунд дэргэлтэй манайхаа.
Tenzu now up to top frag, 17 kills on his board. Mongols continuing to pressurize the Imperial camp, who are taking the conservative approach to the economy game here. One AK save for Descenti, and SMG brought in by Feld, but it's all to protect for the.
Тэр хардсан ш. Тэгтээ нөгөөтэн гараа авчиж.
Revealing himself with that USP, but a pistol on a solo.
За юу бинээс юу гэнэ. Ор.
Get a miracle out of this.
Дабл лидэн дээр улаачлаа ш. Унгац. Энэ нөгөө АК-гаас ивэлсэн банд. Хей, смок руу бодсон. Сэнцүү бэрс. Баян эндээс унгадаг шин. Сэнцүүгийн төрөөс смокны шотод бас. Амдрал эзүүлж байна нэрээ. Джейсон зарах хэрэгцсэн. 11 зэрэг ярьцтай болсон.
Looking great for the Mongols right now. B play just couldn't hold on, and if you're Imperial, you would have ideally wanted to go for a force buy in the previous one, but not on Dust 2. As we said, you just want to try one opportunity. Give him at least one buy round.
One opportunity.
Where he has the AVP on Dust 2. I mean, Dust 2 is supposed to be an Oprah's paradise. Try is going to get one shot at having the big green to turn that entire game around, essentially.
For a guy you said was quiet earlier on in the tournament, has had his moments still.
He hasn't had chances here. I'm not even gonna fault him. He's been completely isolated from the game. He had, if you can think.
Заашин бол чингээс хажууд унтцгаая да guys.
Just walk out of middle and get an opening kill, right? So impact-wise, Try has actually done everything that he could have, but the Mongols have not been given him many chances.
Up on the AWP, one of the two bottom fragments.
MaaRaa to сайн аа гэнэ.
Maybe this is the weapon to turn it all around.
Hi.
Boost of 910 in from Suicide will try and spot for Try, but he's focused on that short access.
Лайк дараа. YouTube үзэгчд маань тэр тусмаа гоё лайк дараа ш. Лайк дарцгаагаар залласан. Лайк дараад үзээрэй guys. Манай YouTube үзэгчд бас эвгүй дараад штэ бас л тэ. Гоё дараад үздэг дээ. Яа. Дэсэнтэй. За хэрэгцсэн. Йоо, тархитуулчлаа билээсдэгтэй унгасан. Дахиад гарсан, мэдээлэл ирсэн. Маа бомб авч идэгчлээ. Хүү, бүр горыг нэгаа ажиллаа энэ шимбэр.
That's right. You can say that one again. They really need a hero. It has been the rifle.
Ившихэ болээ.
Decency has been no way blitz with a phenomenal play. Just not ready for no way to be that close.
Өнөөдөр ч CS тоглолцчихс амар ядарчлаа.
1v1 after 1v1 after 1v1. This is the strength of Imperial, but it's still.
Oh yeah. Мид дээр 9 сарыг нгачлаа трий.
Twice in a row he's been able to take down 910.
Try.
Frag up for Try. Another opening start for him to try and generate that extra impact on the AWP. Neutralized by the Mongols, but finally getting a chance to strike back through the smoke here at the Longhouse.
Нэрээ өөр ирэхгүй шичдэг.
Molotovs to ensure that Techno can't peek ahead of the pit. Forced right out, so Mongols resisted a lot by the Imperial side, and they're pushing in for.
Хүү, даблт ингэжлээ дээсэнтэй. Сэнзүүдэр. Йоо, butterfly fade. Энэ хэдэн доллар үнэтэй болоо. Йоо. А тэгснэ ой. Акан дээр Монголцын логотой шээс. Хиний лого байсан бэ сая? Юу вэ? Монголцын логотой гэсэн би ч нэрээ. Террор талаас Монголцмоо тоглож байгаа шүү дээ гişээ. Би ч террор талаас Империал тоглож байгаа гэж бодож байгаад нойр хүрээд Монголцын логотой шааж ирэх гэж. Би ч Империалыг террор талаас тоглож байгаа гэж бодож байгаад
anything.
Үгүй шүү дээ нэрээ. Манайхан ч өөрсдөө тэр ороос тоглож байгаа шүү.
And this is a really important one for Imperial, by the way. I'll say, I mean, even though the Mongols will be able to hold on to the AVP and the AK and a little bit of Vito, Imperial are quite happy with it. Try and remember the last time Imperial were able to win a full-on buy round with 4 people surviving. I think that might be the first time, by the way. Come to think of it.
I mean,
it's such a clean round.
I can tell you for certain that the majority of the rounds have been struggled to the point where
За энэ раунд дээр сэвдэ тоглолтын тооны ярьцаа 11-8 болж байгаа юм байна. Манайх нэг 2 раунд авчихвал болно.
may indeed set them up for a decent economical advantage here for the CT side, and especially as well the notion that the next round that you lose to Mongols is going to be the map point round.
2 раунд авчихвал ачгүй дээ нэгний мап дээр.
Especially in the grand scheme of things going into the series, as we said.
Ямар амар унгаад юм бэ?
You don't win this round or this map, sorry, if you're Imperial. You're probably in no man's land going into that second one as well. You just rely on the Mongols to be able to, I mean, not even if it's not fully dominate Mirage, because it's still a good map for the Brazilians.
Ooh, yes, синзуг унгаачлаа тэр try чи.
Be able to get the win.
Яач вэ?
Especially if you look at the teams that the Mongols have lost to Mirage. I mean, the most recent one was Eternal Fire, and the only one in the last couple of months as well. Some of the best in the world struggle on that map against them.
Ани 7 сум үлдэж мэлтэцсэн. Яа гэдэг байгаа. Хотлоо цэнгэл сонсогдох ч гонготой. Гаргаж ирэх гээд байгаа юм. Тим юм ч байдаг баха.
Now you're finally showing a little bit of potential for that to happen. It's not a
for a page ч гэсэн гоё харагдав юм нөө.
But especially if you're able to convert this round, the Mongols are going to be stuck with no money to work with. So
За энэ тоглолтын энэ матчын дараа гоё нээд амар орно. Ёй. Нөгөө империалийнх нь нээд нь бүр ингэж ороод байна. Мохорч.
Start coming out towards the elbow and short positions. Incendiary from tries going to land between.
Амолж жагаад. Оо дахиад нэг нээд орлоо. Яа. Try гэж. Эвгүй бөнөхөр байна да.
Returning frag on that AK's part, and Phelps is going to get pushed out of the bomb site with the CT smoke, so the plant can be secured. Mongols have been given that much breathing room.
Смокор сэтийг давхар смоклоод байгаа юм биш доолно. Тэр лонгтой байлдаж жагаад. Баригдчихж байгаа юм байна. За 11-с ярьцтай боллоо. Жохоо эвгүүр идэхэлсэн шүү.
Alright, now we're starting to see some of the individual prowess.
Жаахан эвгүүр идэхэлчихлээ.
And that's the reason that we were praising them so much, by the way, the last couple of days, right? It just feels like every single time Imperial starts struggling from a team point of view, then there's going to be someone coming in massively and try. This is another opening kill.
Пүүжиг унтгээд хэлээд өгөөч гинэ. Пүүжиг гэдэг хүн үзэж байгааг яаж мэдчихэж байгаа юм.
The numbers might not show it. I know Imperial still might be in a disadvantage. He might not be the top fragger in the server. Impact-wise, those 11 kills of Try have opened up the game for Imperial so much.
Yeah, definitely. Tacticals in from the Mongols now because they're starting to get threatened.
За юу болоод энэ guys 2 раундын зөрөд болцсон оогүй юу? MaaRaa ахтраар зогсож байна.
Did see one AK out from them, but do they want to commit to that hero weapon?
I just realized that, by the way, Argentine Counter-Strike so far has been superior in the Thunder pick. I mean, we
намайг хараад байгааг мэдсэн болтой буцаа авчлаа.
Interestingly enough, this is his best event of the year. That's not an open qualifier so far. And then you're looking at Thomason, you're looking at Bestia.
Тэр нейд. Ёо! Банд гэж.
That nade. You absolute thief. You just stole away all the HP. Look at Senzu, poor him.
За, хөтөж юм сонсчлоо. Даралт өнө. Дахиад даралт өнө цаарцсан ач. Хөө тэр лонгоос унагааж өгч байна. 901 дарцсан. Нэг галилтэй. Хөө юу вэ чи? Вини чи ямар амар спрей трансфер хийв. And Mongols again, they force ball in that round. 11 ар болчлоо шүү. Яа.
Without the bomb plant bonus, can't afford to buy again. Yeah, this is slipping right through their fingers, right? And as you pointed out, that was the full investment. They got everything.
11 ар.
That they could in this round, and it wasn't much, but you still used all the dollars in the bank account rounds, and it's just multi-kill after multi-kill after multi-kill from Imperial. Again,
Хүй юу болох гээд байна?
Utility perfectly placed from Imperial, and Vinny with a double to close it out is just multi-kills for everyone. It's no way it's Phelps' try as decent as Vinny.
Imperial чи чангараад байна шүү. Яа, би нэг юм оохгүй бол амт хамаатаад.
When you compare it to the first 8 rounds of the first half here. And the first couple rounds as well of the second. I mean, let's not forget, this is Imperial that has lost both pistol rounds and the conversions. In an MR12, we know how important that is. Don't make me read out the percentages from yesterday again. Imperial, if they're able to steal away this map, I know it's their map pick, but still, it would be quite impressive considering how well things started for the Mongols, both on their CT and the T side.
Yeah, Imperial have played from the back foot this entire time. So that could all be about to change here. Even the Mongols in this investment, it is kind of heavy-handed, down to $1,000 for Senzu.
Яа.
Good for 3 of the other players.
Амарлаа ёо.
45 seconds.
За манайхан ч л мөнгөгүй л яваад байна.
They've established themselves up in mid and the tunnels, but
Бахан гар бооно. Ар бардаг гар бооно.
When they do go for that hit, you know it's got to be fast-paced and a perfect smoke there from Vinny at the right moment. So
Perfect.
This mid to
Perfect.
is going to distract him enough to turn away from the bomb carrier and his backup at the right moment.
Хүү, спрей ямар амар өгөөч.
Get forced on a reload, got back up there at the AWP, try seeing that bomb
Descenti.
kill from mid, will fight
Try.
support, try gets techno Descenti got split.
За Сензүний
And
дарс.
the Senzu is all that remains. 1v5.
Yeah, you-
No more than that. Imperial hold the line.
11 болгоо ажиллаа. Яа, ямар эвгүй камбэк хийж.
Up on the board. We're 11 apiece now on Dust 2.
Yeah, the Brazilian wall is just in the server right now on Dust 2. Look at that defense. Try with the AVP.
Тамна Бразилийн зэстээр
The timing on the smoke was perfect. He goes for the spam.
Бразил нэг багийн гэртний хариулт байна уу? Манайхаа.
Good communication. They were just not caught off guard by the fact that there was pistols already out middle. And storming their way
Пастор
into
ч
the
балаа
middle
мап
side.
байна ястай.
This is Imperial showing some great tenacity
Балер
right
мап
now.
байна.
There's a ton of work to be done.
Түнэл урагшилчлаа бөрөө.
They've already put in a hard day's effort just to get this map back to winnable position.
Оо, хоёр тоглогч.
Trying to send
Хоёрыг өөр
quick
гачлаа шүү.
shots, quick returns. As Senzu and Blitz don't even get away with a HP's worth of
Flash
damage against the
тарсан.
CT side. They're extending further here. They've got
Надад ч ямар даварцсан тоглолт юм бэ те?
AK swapped up to maybe the Senzu could get flanked out from the mid players. Maybe Techno could catch him with his back turn towards that position.
Poo.
And Techno takes him down.
За,
Finally,
Techno ганаагүй юм байна ч гоо.
finally you're able to deal
Цэвэрхэн трэд
into
хийчлээ
the
болно.
lower tunnels, but Try is out of dodge, and this is the big problem. You're still working with a man disadvantage, and you have no idea where the AVP is going to be.
Ямар
posted.
даварцсан байна
It's
те?
a long time, and look at him. Started the round in towards lower. Now he's on A.
Аа, бүр ингэж нэвтэлт явуулт юм уу те?
Careful.
Хүү,
9-10
try.
USP shots and tried to see if
900-ыг
it
л унгаач чадах.
didn't work. Timing good enough for Try. HE's at the ready for Phelps. Open the gap. Techno's turned away from it. Mizzino's not seen either.
Дахиад
Techno,
нэг
it
нээд.
must be somewhere towards the mid door. Second HE. Mizzino is
За, nice.
seeing Techno.
Зүрүүлээд өөрт нь ашигласан.
Shot comes through. Now Vinny is
Хаалгаа
pressing
шалгая.
once again. Backs up towards the forward wall. And then
За,
back
шууд
away
орох гэсэн бол
from the
чадсангүй.
kill found. Second player
За,
adjusted to
бомба
damage.
тавина.
Techno
Яаж
gets
хийж
away
байгаа?
with the trade. Now needs to get himself 2 more for the full-blown ace in this
Өөрөө
round.
жоохолооц.
The CTs will take their time on a
Techno.
setup.
All alone in the clutch. Techno, a couple Molotovs to open up a little bit of space. Both CTs coming in from different positions. This could give him an opportunity.
Flashbangs in, Incendiary is close to bomb site, but not to Techno's exact position. CT's walking out, footsteps heard.
Аа, nice try.
Faded, but in the end comes up with the
Хүү,
kill.
12-11 болчлоо.
Are the ones that
Imperial
are
чинь
on map point.
map point
Mongols
авчлаа.
stood at 11 for so long, but they are unable to finish the job.
Could you believe it? Could you really see Imperial win 6 rounds in a row on that CT side? And this is absolutely instrumental.
Try ч ямар сайн бодолтой юм бэ те? Imperial-ийн.
And even with Techno getting that kill in
Try бүр амар бодолтой байгаад
the
байна.
refrag onto the B bomb side, they just played it to perfection. Toyed with him, made him feel
Try гэж ямар нөхөр байгаад
feel
байна.
like he is the one that needs to initiate the fights, even though he was trapped towards the back of the bomb side. 12-11 Imperial.
Ёо, Imperial-ийн match point авчих.
11-6 scoreline.
Хүү, за 2-2-оор.
As Phelps and Norway strike first out towards long tries or could well get caught towards this corner. He does that the right
Хүү,
way.
за тэр long тэр try
Connect that shot though.
унгачмаар байна.
Access in from 9-10.
Ой,
Norway did.
унгаацсан.
And the AK spray is just
Юу
towards
ич
the first
short
shot.
өгөхөж байгаа.
Second smokes involved from both sides. The Descenti tries to make his way into a tradable position. Flashbangs turned away from, and the bomb carrier.
Смок гарц баригдсан. Сүүлийн тоглогч Vini Long сонсогдсон. За. Яа, тэрүүл ийм раунд аваад тожих хэрэгтэй байсан юм аа манайх.
Pretend you're surprised we're going into OT, by the way. Of course we will. It's elimination.
Imperial-ийн overtime-тэй болцсон. Одоо бүх юм шинээр эхэлж байгаа юм да. Яг манайхан хожигдсонгүй одоогор.
The Mongols strike back when they needed it the most, and you can see the disappointment on Try's face as well.
За хамир overtime дээр хожилт байна уу?
Even though you're looking at the 15 kills, you're saying, well,
tactical time out Imperial-аас гинэ.
Coming out of Phelps, Vinny, or everybody else on the team, he's been so instrumental, but in
Tactical
this
time out.
specific round, he's unable to connect onto a single shot. Unaware of 9-10 coming out of short, and that could have been the difference maker, probably would have been.
Yeah. If only they had someone able to defend mid, if only they had someone on that short presence.
You know what's the thing?
Imperial-ийн ч бүр плей-оффтоо main event-д шалгарна гэсэн мангар том итгэлтэйгээр Германд очсон байгаа юм шүү. Big-ийн boot camp дээр шааж.
Up short, and for you not to know, I think he caught a timing between the second and the third rotation there.
Regardless of the reasons why that one difference.
Nice 910. Try унаасан. Яас ихтэй үйлдэлтэй. Одоо миний ялж гэж байна шүү. Ой. 900-ыг онцлоо. Хүү. Сэнзүү. За тэр смокнд амьдэрчлээ. Энэ смокнд дотор байгаа нэг мдэгөө. Ее, энэ смокнд. Оо, 910 юу буудаад унагаачлаа. Яа, юу өдөж бүр ёо, Vini 3-ыг унагач чинь ой. What the fuck?
What a wild round that is. And if you're the Mongols, by the way, Imperial just called a tactical timeout.
Yo.
Kill is absolute
disgusting.
That is, he himself got surprised he got that, by the way. I can tell you that much for free. He didn't realize he got the kill up until someone told him.
So called.
He didn't know. And as I was saying, the Mongols calling such a quick round and being able to completely run over Imperial. I mean, look at the reaction. Imperial are just going to bring out the double ult. They don't want to allow the Mongols to think that they can just run around the map.
Ее, try short гараад унагаачлаа. Ее, блиц. Туннел дээр баригдах гэж.
That's a big lockdown. Not sure if they actually realized there's a second open play as well. Decently didn't fire a shot, did he? It was just try getting that opening kill, so that double ult still pretty much an element of surprise. And Imperial, they've been able to, and I can't believe I'm saying that, drag the Mongols into a slower round, which has been the more comfortable alternative for Imperial.
Мэдээ батарчсан, хацгаацсан байна шүү дээ.
This time it's the Brazilians that actually prefer the slower paced counter-strike. Especially when they have that man advantage. And the question is, where do the Mongols want to go?
Mid to be smoke гэж shorter тоглолт орж байна.
Comes in, baiting out the Molotov. Might walk out middle.
Мэдээр л харах гээд байгаа юм даа. Тэр нээдэр задлан да. Тийм ээ, нээдтэй юм. Нээдтэй шүү, наадгач. Нээдтэй юм байна шүү, guys. Нээдтэй байгаа намаагүй. За, тэр Vini-г л ангаамаар байна. Vini-г л унгаамаар байна. Оо, унгаац. Тэгсэн чинь try. Сэтигээс гарч ирээд нэг унгаачлаа. Вуу, 910. За шууд хаалгарагүйсэн. 910 хоолоогоо дээр ингээс ороод унгаач гэж байгаа юм байна. Одоо хүрээд ирсэн. Хүй. Ёо. Ямар амар дэвэл аваад байна тэр чи ёо. Try ч юм ямар амар тоглоод байгаа юм бэ? Try бүр амар тоглоод байна.
We're in overtime. Come on, no one's surrendered, no one's given up, no white flags in there. We gotta ask what the case is with that one, by the way. But back to the point, 9-10 he's been offering a free lecture on how you should lurk with an OP, or as an OPer with a rifle. I don't believe I'm saying that. He's been such a good lurker in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, he's been very good.
Хүй, тэр талгаар гаргацсан үгүй юу? Yay! Boost гай. Амар boost. Try бүр ингээд бүшилгээд ангаачлаа шүү дээ. Амар. За short hump pick гэлнэ. За Philips. Хоёрыг даах юм уу? Даахгүй шүү дээ. Даахгүй шүү дээ. Сэнтүү хоёрыг нагас. Сэнтүү эсрэгээр хоёрыг дачиж байгаа юм байна. За хоёр тоглолч мэдээл ирсэн. Нэг нь нагасан зин яа. За асуудалгүй. За 3-0 ирсэн болж ш. Яа билээс гэдэг ямар хордоо нгаа тий. Ямар эвгүй бодоо тэр нь бүр ямар эвгүй тархитчихва.
That one just fell apart there for Imperial, and this is such a difficult one to accept. If that Imperial team was a ship on Dust 2, well, that ship is going 11,000 meters down towards the ocean bottom right now. And I'm not sure if SpongeBob is going to be the one that
try just эвгүй тоглолттой гараа.
Not under those circumstances.
Especially considering that they were on map point first. They had 12-11.
Yeah.
They had the chance to close and the Mongols have brought it to this overtime, and since that point Imperial
Завартай бихнийхс ихний раунд өндөрлсөн.
Lost control of the return. They were playing from the back foot for pretty much all of regulation, and now they play from the back foot on the second half of this overtime. On Dust 2, their own pick in this series, the Mongols to win.
Хөлн дээр нь хотгонд гэлэлцаал шүү дээ. Яа ямар ай.
That is what Imperial are playing to avoid. Denzu so aware of the boost that's come in.
The Xbox is Moko.
T-side lines are going to account for that. It's mostly been the Mongols using it though. So Imperial just charge their way in towards.
За Vini long дээр.
Early damage towards the longhouse challenge. Blind shots.
900 юм уу? 900 юм байна. Shorting contact. Nade байна уу? Nade. We need nade. Атол нээж чиддэг цагтаа guys.
I'll leave Senzu posted up in the tunnels as the mid-offensive starts here from the Imperial side. And Techno will be the man to receive it. We'll dive.
Тамхаа стрим дээр лайк дараад үзэрэй залуусаа ширэгээрэй. Стрим дээр лайк дараад үзсэн шүү.
But not to see the action of the T side. The HGs will confirm that no one's out in the open. The Imperial may readjust.
Yoper is still positioning towards the tunnels though, and he's moving.
Ай, улаалцсан. Яасан 102 тоногос. Өөрсдөө хүмүүсийг бодоод ледэрчд. Өөрсдөө бодолцоод байгаа юм байна. Манай монголцынхан фокуслцөө. Промодон дээр тавьцөө. Амар техно 3 килиг айсөө. Амар. За манай монголцынхан маань бол эхний мапн дээр ялалтыг байгуулж цувралын харьцааг нэгдэг харьцаатай болголоо. Үргэлжлүүлээд хоёр дахь map Mirage манай монголцын сонгосон map байгаа. За тэр хооронд бол хэдүүлээ спонсортойгоо танилццгаая. За эхлээд gift оруулж тэ. What the fuck? Gift яаж оруулах вэ?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that is a crucial thing for them to lose, not just because
энэ дээр дарддаг шүү дээ.
Everyone at home again, if you're just running us during that overtime. 13-11 could have been the scoreline.
The great giveaway.
They had the map point first.
Хакага хийлээ. $2 deposit MaaRaa гэдэг промо кодыг ашиглана. User limit нь 1000.
There was more
Зо.
coming out of
Ших.
rifles. Vinny, decency, no way bringing in all the impact, but man, I feel like this is why
Duration.
the Mongols so much.
3 day,
You get
3
so many
days.
chances against a team like the Mongols, and if you don't capitalize
Яг
on them,
3 өдөр.
you're just gonna get punished for it, and I can't
$35 giveaway.
have to say about this map.
Mongols might have let the
За,
ball
great
drop
giveaway.
a little bit, but I feel like it should have been an Imperial
Oh my
score
God.
to begin with. It was their map pick. They were
За, нэг copy
responsible for
авч.
taking us through. However, I feel like their metal was tested in OT. Like all of that before that, Josh, I feel like that is completely overruled by what we saw from the Mongols in overtime. It was just too damn comfortable.
Yeah, they really came in bursts, didn't they? They came out of the gates really hot.
Facebook
Fantastic start. Felt like Imperial were just locked out of the map completely. Then
Хоо, key drop giveaway.
towards the tail end of the first half, we had a decent half, 7-5. Again, we saw this Mongols burst going into that second half.
За.
The point about how good they've been with
MaaRaa
and those conversions. And in MR12,
promo.
that's a huge factor. But again, they slowed down a little bit. Imperial were
God.
able to stop at their heels. They even had a chance.
Шиглаад
And then it was just locked back in for the Mongols, and they were
$2
those final 4 rounds.
deposit
Хийгээд a deserved victory for them, especially when you consider the fact that it's their opponent's map pick.
give
It's pretty impressive. They're now 3-0
evade.
for this weekend, and they've not picked it once.
Yeah, you were talking about Imperial potentially wanting to go for some kind of havoc pick, right? Try and play with the veto. Well, they didn't, and apparently Mongols, they were fully ready for it. I do want to look at the replays though, because I feel like that's going to paint a very nice picture of how back and forth that game actually was. We started off
За биз. Одоо яг оролцох нь
pretty decisive when it came to the start, right? We saw an excellent retake towards the 4th round.
яаж хаях юм бол join giveaway дээр дарах юм бах та. Эндээс миний giveaway гэж алах юм бол MaaRaa гэж бичих юм болов. MaaRaa гэж бичгээр гараад ирж. 100 хүн орохоос одоогор тэг хүн орсон байна гэж байна.
Initially though, the Mongols, their rounds were close enough where their money could have broken down, and that is
За ингээд front side misty гэдэг bug giveaway доорууллаа. Та бүхэн join дараад орох боломжтой. Тэгээд $2 deposit хийн. Энд чинь шууд өөрийнхөө skin-ээр deposit хийгээд орох боломжтой. Ингээд энэ skin-ээр дээр deposit хийгээд орох боломжтой. Надад болохоор одоо яг миний inventory доторч олигтой малгадаг. 2 кейс авахд ганц 2 кейснүүдээр л шууд deposit хийгээд орчих юм ба шүү дээ. Easy юм биш. Заавалчгүй доллар молор гэхгүйгээр шууд item-аар зэнэглээд оролцох боломжтой. Key drop.com. Тэгээд search дээр MaaRaa гэж тайхаргаагаас ингээд гараад ирч. За тэгээ бүгд амжилт төсөө. За одоо жоохон кейс нэ.
I think the boys on the commentary desk were pointing it out. Scoped in, had the crosshair on the man in suicide. The kills from lowers. And then, yeah, I mean, this one really paints the whole picture, doesn't it? That triple kill through the smoke at the end. Now, one of the things that I think...
Одоо нэг app санагдаад таалагдаад байгаа юм да. Ямар нэртэй app бэлээ? App гэж төлөр чинь M4 Golden. За ингээд exchange-с ачих уу? Skin changer. Blitz and Mazzino pushed both sides of the smoke in round 5. It was absolutely awesome. They just had no respect for the space that Imperial were able to take. And when the sides switched, Golden coil. As soon as Mongols got onto that B site, Imperial just seemed locked out of it. Those couple of Ёо, энэ бооч $14 байсан гэж бодлоо. Fuck. Одоо тэгсэн чинь $75 олдсон биз дээ. Ёо. Би бүр $14 зарсандаа харамсчлаа бүр ёо.
And you talked about the head-to-head when we were looking at Senzu and Decenti, right? It's very important that we look at those two pieces because they did make the biggest differences for their respective teams. But I want to stay on the scoreboard because there were other dynamics that also ended up playing out.
Энэ арай л үнэтэй юм форан те.
Try and 910, they were nipping at
Надаа амар тийм
910 was delivering damage across Imperial.
их мөнгө байхгүй л те.
And one of the issues we thought was going to occur when we come into this game was that, hey, is Vinny going to be able to match the potential of Blitz being a fragging IGL? He did. I feel like he did a pretty fantastic job. Vinny on the B side.
Багаар миний инвентори дотор $20 скин те.
Part of the reason he's on that B side as often is
Нэг game for one.
on the radar and make those calls.
Мамас.
He wants to be a little bit more disengaged from the action, but when the action came to him, especially because Mongols
Эднэрээр дараа нэмэнэ.
the B bomb site, he was delivering. And this is where you start to look at some of the other pieces, right? Generally, I don't really make a huge deal about frags, but no way being absent from the server in the fashion that he was when you're looking at a game that goes to
Энэ хин юм бэ?
you can actually chalk it up to some of those kills.
Huh?
And I feel like impact from the rest of the team was
Ukraine
huge. Like Try being able to out-op 910 and so many of those head-to-heads. Vinny being able to
Seize the
find,
Queens
I
гэнэ.
think there were two different impact rounds where he finds some very
Тэг
decent
цент
kills,
80
gets some
центийн
really decent
кейс
kills
үүдх юм
and,
шүү
like,
дээ.
and all that performance. So I really did feel like No Way was absent from the
$1
conversation in a way that he
25
absolutely
cent.
shouldn't have been. And you're looking at Imperial's own map pick right now. Things are going to get even more difficult. We were talking about how
Оо өдөрчөөс
the
үнт.
Mongols, they kind of have to prove that they're the better team here, right? Like they're maybe they haven't been dethroned just yet by anyone from Asia. Maybe they
Зантарисын
haven't
кейс
been
дотор
dethroned
байлаа.
in like sort of the bottom end of tier 1 just yet. But there were conversations, some whispers, some rumors, right? About it. So for them to come out of Thunder Pick without a scratch, that's exactly what they have to do now, Josh. And
Зантарисын кейс дотор дан улаан сетэд юм шүү дээ.
Absolutely. We did see one of those stat lines that
Зантарисын нэг өөрөө сонгож оруулсан байдаг байх л та угаасаа.
20 kills with only 60 ADR. He had one of the lowest ADRs in the whole server.
Улаан сетап биш шүү дээ.
Surprising stuff, but still putting those frags on the board. But you know, with Dust 2 out of the way.
Оо яаж яагаад энэ $1700 форой. Нэг онгоолгоод үзчихэл тийм шүү guys. Зантарис. Хаг унаш авах үедээ. Тэгс. Тэр Redline дөө. $24 би чинь $40 онгоолгож байгаа биз дээ. Profit гүн биш тий. За энэ Redline байж л гэж.
I think that's going to be quite daunting, and for the Mongols, they should be super confident here. I kind of wouldn't be surprised.
Ойч өөрхөн хямдхан кейснүүд шүү дээ.
But actually a fairly convincing one.
yeah, if you specifically look at Mirage, right, the Mongols have been so damn good on it. Like, they have beaten the likes of ENCE in Elisa Masters, like 13-1, right? Like, yeah, they struggled a little bit against.
Хөө эн чи юу байгаа?
Can't really look at them.
3 юм байгаа мó.
They aren't a top tier Mirage team. Imperial.
Энэ ямар гоё ятгаа тий?
But that work is going to be observed by us and of course the lovely casters in just a moment.
Одоо тэгснэ тэр Nova ноноо нэз. Хөө за тэр Nova руу явсан. Хотго хотго ондгоо юм байл та угаас. Хотго нах цаа угаас обсол юм байна л та. Энэ бол бас хэцүү. За энэ $5 кейс дотор үед. Shadow Dagger. Тэр shotgun л явна л гэсэн. Profit байна уу? Forfeit. Хөрх. Карбоны. Нэг карботаа болт юм шүү дээ, guys. Тэгсэн чинь энэ чинь карбо биш. Дандаа rifle руу дэв штэ. Тэгсэн карбоны зурагтай кейс шатстэй. Таны яах нь ч. Ой, тэр M4 л явахгүй юу? Моохай би. CS2 case. CS2 case. Энд чинь дандаа шар скнүүд байгаа. Тэгсэн $54 кейс гэжтэй. Байж болох бүх шар скнүүд шүү дээ. Йоо, дракамака яагаад. Би бүр шар сетаптай болмоор санагдтал авч штэ энэ борой. Хизээч шар сетаптай болох юм байгаа. Орё байдаг шүү дээ. Ийм гоё сетап байж болох юм байна, guys. Гэтэ энэ бас нэлээд үнэтэй л юм байна л та. $54 нэг дарах уу? Болох уу? Арай л үнэтэй энэ болли гэж. CS2 magic. Энэ дотор хямдхан байна. $5 кейс байна. $5 кейсэн дотор golden coil шүү дээ. Би энэ golden coil унах юм бол аавна. Golden coil онол шууд аавалт. 3-аар нэс. Тэгснэ энэ нь бүр $8 байна биз. Хотго яваа л гэлээсэй. $7. Тэгсэн $12 болоо шаа тий. Арай. Ийм хямдхан бонод юм өдөрч. За миний юунд хүмүүс оролцсон болоо гэвээ тэгш. Хүмүүс оролцож амжсан болоо араагүй байж бас магадгүй тий.
Concession here in the Thunder Pick World Championship, losing out their own map pick despite the stunning efforts to bring it back from the ultimate deficit. Something tells me, Ted, that MaaRaa might be a little bit more of the one-sided.
I mean, it can't be helped, right? You're just giving a lot of credit to the Mongols. They've been one of the best teams on the I want to say outskirts maybe of the tier 1 scene so far this year.
Хоногийн дуусгаас өмнө дуусгаж болдог л байна.
And me and you were having a bit of a conversation after the end of map number 1 where we're taking a look
Cancel
at some of the teams that the
байна.
Mongols have lost to on Mirage, and there hasn't been many recently, right? If you want to go back in August, all right, you can see that pain loss, but I don't think we can make too much out of it. You're looking at the results ever since. The only team that has been able to put them down on Mirage was Eternal Fire. And we know Eternal Fire is just a Mirage team, man. You can't really make too much out of it.
Замна монголчин бикэлсэн ба.
Have been struggling against the Mongols on Mirage, and I honestly feel like even mentally, if you're Imperial, you might feel like you've missed out on a bit of an opportunity going into this one. But
Эхэллээ гэсэн. Эхэлж байгаа юм мэдж байгаа.
Mongols, B-pop, I like it.
Завнахан бэрэг үтсэн. Вини эхний кил хэмжээнийг нь гацчихж байгаа юм байна. Дуалисттэй. Зайсанцоор ороод сайт эзэлсэн гэсэн чинь манайхан нэг нэгээр унаад идэх шүү.
On the corner looking for 9-10, a little bit of damage being done towards that USP. Seeing the player in the back lines, can't hit the kill shots.
За хоёр талч хоёулыг нэмэрлээ мэдчихлээ. 900-ыг нь гацсан. Please. Сумаа сандилж чад унах үү? Хөө, nice try. За бомба тавьсан манайхан.
Yeah, and this is a really important one. As we said, going into this game, the mental is going to be quite important for Imperial, right? You're looking at the way that they lost those two. For those of you that are just joining in, the Mongols did start it perfectly. They had a 7-1 lead. Imperial were able to bring it back. Then it ended up being an 11-6 score in favor of the Mongols on the map pick of Imperial. Imperial were able to bring it all the way back to a 12-11, and then they didn't register a single round until the end of the map, right? The Mongols were able to just snatch it right under their noses. And I feel like if you're Imperial going into this one, the fact that obviously Dust2 went the way that it did, the first couple of rounds on Mirage could be instrumental for whether the team really believes that they can bring it back. Good news is, Mirage is actually one of the better maps for Imperial as well. One of the maps that they often pick into too.
Well, the problem is, of course, the fact that it is a map that they...
За энэ бүр мэд урагшилсан. Даварцсан. 900-оор 2-ыг дараа хийсэн. Юугүй. Ой, эрг арцсан. Fuck. За ардаас нь Синзо дээр идлээ тавьчихж байгаа юм байна. Ёо, тэр шортын. Вини бүр. За өөрөө 8-тай болтлоо дэмжлээс. За бомба аваад гээ тэр чи бөө баригчлаа. Тэсэнтэй. Рэп шилжсэн байж байгаад барьчихж байгаа юм байна.
Yeah, now you know. The moment that you spot out the bomb carrier just sprinting in towards A as if nothing's happened, you just know that Mizuno probably
минут байна.
switched positions with decency, so you're going to be ready.
Хэмзэнд яа нэг эсрэг хоёр.
Coming out of top middle, that 1v1 though. It's a lovely pick from
Decency.
decency, and there goes the impact. Imperial, that one looked incredibly terrifying after the initial mid fights.
I did get a bit dicey. Him again from 9-10's perspective, two perfect Deagles down. Blitz sacrificing himself to enable that round to be what it was there for the Mongol side, but still not a win for the Mongols. Did take a ton of damage against Imperial, so the force buy potential might still be justified here. We're seeing a weapon passed off towards Blitz, so it's only the hero rifle in this exchange.
Yep, 9-10.
За ямар амар эхэлж байна Imperial ч.
The definition of it.
За дахиад бид урагшлаад эхэллээ.
One smoke.
За манайхан өстой нийтэн дээр улаагаад авлаа. Хэмзэний техног явааснаачлаа. За тэгсэн 3-3 болчихж байна ой. Өө нэг дарс. Дахиад гарсан. Трейд нийцж байгаа юм байна. 2-2. Манай хоёр шифтлээд бэрэг орж байгаа.
Actually have free access to that B bomb site right now. They just have to be slow and hope that Vinny doesn't go for the quick wraps in from that short presence.
За одоогоор шортын тоглогч мэддэг байгаа. Гэхдээ апс хараад эхэлсэн. Vinny. За нэг акат олцсон шүү манайхаа. За сайт руу ялаад яваад орцсон болно. За бомба тавьсан сонсчихж байгаа юм байна. Ангачлаа.
Attention turned away, hearing the footsteps wrapping in from CT spawn as well. This is all timing and accuracy for the lone AK of the T-sided line. Imperial now on the bomb site descent.
Nice try.
Caught on the swing, but not caught.
Imperial 3 раунд авсан.
Towards the man, the Mongols. I'll quite win that round.
Okay, you know what? 2 rounds or 3 rounds Orion Mirage, 2 double kills already from Decenty. This is good signs. For those of you that are just tuning in, he had a really good sequence, really good couple of rounds on Dust 2. Some might say himself and Try were probably the reason that this Dust 2 ended up being as close as it was. And Vinny coming in with some big impact as well. The Mongols at least get a bomb plan out of this. That was kind of like a must, considering that you still did bring in a slight investment. And of course,
Зүгээр зөвхөн 3 раунд. Одоо аваад эхэлсэн шүү. Одоо лавчи. Асуудал гомрээ.
Get yourself some tickets. It's going to be a banger event. We're going to have Dona taking interviews in an event. How exciting is that?
Яа, эдгээр нийт бас левгүй орчирч. За шууд бэр гүйчж байгаа юм байна. Ой, тэр try in тэр AWP. Яа. Амар нэцэлт бай. За нийтэнд явалттай байна уу? Байсан. 3-2 авах боломжтой шүү.
Try will get caught for dead. Advantage for the CT side still. Mongols are forced to slow things down.
It's a great reaction.
Market nick, site nick.
What Imperial are telling the Mongols is, okay, you were thinking about going for those quick pop plays. That's not gonna work. We're gonna be.
Оо, энэ чи юу жаа? Decent-ий. Үхэх гэсэн юу?
Yeah. Would love to see that.
Хүлээлгүй.
But now he's given them an opportunity, probably overextending a little bit, thinking that they were a lot closer in towards that B area than they
Цагийн сайтн дээр нэг хамгаалалт болсон.
10 Blitz. They don't have plenty of time.
36 секунд хэлсэн манайх цаг болж байгаа шүү.
And will be enough to make their way in towards the bomb site. Thing is, there could be Imperial players everywhere.
Yeah. Well, they've only got one player to deal with per bomb site, so at least they'll know that once they clear the right angle, once they get
За хамт орсоорс 20 секунд. Гүгэд орсоорс.
available towards 910. Putting that out towards dark could be enough if he puts that out in that position. He's considering
Андра
it.
Паласыг шалгалт.
12 second blitz making
Гэсэн
noise.
чинь өө
Palace instead 910.
3 газар мал ичл.
Cut down by No Way. Blitz needs to get this kill real quick and he cannot do it. No Way holds his double. And that is another round for the Imperial side. Although it got very doable for Mongols with that third pick against them. I thought the Descenti may have given them the window in, may have just thrown the round, but not to be.
I mean, he did in a way, right? On 55 seconds, you don't really.
Хөдөлж байгаа бэрэг орох гэж тэ.
Mongols themselves were quite flabbergasted by the fact that Decenty goes for that play. They're like, well, what is this fella doing? We've been here for such a long time. He just.
Try in тэр хэрэгтэй хилүүд амар орж ирээд байна.
At the end of the day, though, it's all well. No Way gets the double.
Надаа зайлуулаач ээ, my god. Тэг санаа мохой нүрэн дээр томаар гаргаа идэр.
Rebuys again for the T's, trying to break the economy state of Imperial because they've done quite a lot of damage to them. Good round win to lead to a reset, could bring back all of this deficit. Mongols know it, Imperial must be aware of the possibility. Some confidence on their board. Molly's down early, smokes are in the way for the CT side.
За smoke руу буутсан, унгаасан. Дахиад байгаа.
Even spotting that second player as well. Rizino may well try and look for the man and all. No way, no.
Зэ цаа энэ
Galil is fought upon the bomb gets
яриад авч байгаа юм байна.
No Way is not traded.
He's going for more.
А nice оноод байна. Унгаачлаа. Блиц. Блиц хэлээд жагд орчичтэй.
Still have 2 more players here though. Oh, hasn't been spotted of Try, and this could be the element of surprise. But look at him thinking about potentially going back.
Тэр апсаар урагшилсан. Vinny.
Aggressive in towards the B apartments. He's going to clear that part.
Би байхгүй гэдгийг мэдчихэж байгаа юм байна.
If Sensu's late enough, if the timing is good enough on his play, then he might not be ready for this.
Backs up towards the defensive and
Тэг кар дээр нэг тоглож байгаа юм мэдэх болоо яах вэ?
Techno better be wary of the unchecked positions. The default plant will offer this one up.
Цаашаалгсан гоё. За энэ раундыг бол манай Монголцоос аваад эхэлнэ дээ одоо.
By the way, this is
За jungle дээр 900-ыг орчиж.
In terms of what types of maps they are, but we saw a similar round from the Mongols when they went split with everyone through middle.
За guys 2-0 гээс унтъя.
And Imperial were just glued in, thinking that there's going to be an extremity player coming out. we saw a pretty similar thing here. Imperial were just so afraid that someone's going to go out of Ram, someone's going to go out of Palace, there's going to be someone in towards the apartments. They just didn't believe that the Mongols would play with 5 people out middle, right? And the moment that they are able to get the refrags, punish that connector presence from both Phelps and No Way, it would always been a really tough one from Vinny to actually pull off all alone and towards the back of the bomb site. The Mongols finally get there first. And you know what? A lot of those rounds might have gone in favor of Imperial towards the start, but there was a couple close calls in there. Some good damage being done by the Mongols, so money-wise, Imperial are actually not the most comfortable of positions right now. Going forward, I believe they should have more than enough to go for a reinvestment here to CTs, but if they drop another round, there could be a way back here for that T side. And yeah, we're gonna see the early signs of an economy that's given up a little bit. 5-7 for Vinny. Utility's gonna be a little bit light on some of those members. You need either the rifles or try with that AVP to bring in the impact.
That pistol of Vinny with a weakened element here. The flashes in from Try will allow them to start peeking in towards the
Доторх
round. That
flash
information will get gained up by Mizzino, but also info with the lack of presence out there for the CT side the same. No Way will be left on the defensive of that position. Mizzino will not see any.
Манайхаар амп гарцсан нэг нь бол мэдсэн.
Meanwhile, have taken all of apartments control. They've been given space out towards mid. 2 players behind the stack will still play careful in that position because they may start to receive Phelps. Meanwhile, tries orb in the apartment.
Сайн чап байгаад байна да.
Or just to take that first kill scene.
Ой.
The first man, Techno runs right into him.
You're going to be ready for Vinny on an up-close angle now, though. That you spot out Try in towards that B area. So another A play coming in. They know that there was some aggression happening in towards the ramp, as you pointed out. They heard the flash. They know because of the sound cue. Thing is, there's so many angles to clear out. This is really uncomfortable.
Ээ, буруу тийш хараагаад ирлээ.
Blitz caught off by
Blitz.
Phelps. Next 5-on-3 established. Oh, what a miss
Smoke
from
алдсан.
Senzu.
Манайхаа ч бас яагаад наалдаад байна.
The window will not be cut off. Phelps could flank, but he's focused on the side defensive now. With
За унгачлаа.
moving in, Mizzino gets that headshot. Now
Ramp дээр 2 байна.
the next key difficulties to deal with. The Senti and No Way unchallenged, unknown about.
За Имзэний унгаас нь дахиад нэг тоглож байгааг мэддэг байгаа. За Имзэний унтсан. 14 секунд. Амар спрей. За бомба тавилт байна 10 секунд. Хүү Сензу ямар гоё хийлвэ. Сензу.
They know that should have been their round, especially with No Way being in towards the round. They did with the first player in towards the extremities. They were not ready for the second. No Way gets his kill. Phelps with another shutdown. That was a 5 versus 3 for Imperial. We were just not ready for Sensu to take that initiative. We're going to check it out on the replay. This is the big difference maker. And you can't really fault Vinny, right? I mean, there's what, 10 seconds? The moment that Sensu pushes through that connector smoke to catch that short rotation off guard. Vinny is never going to be anticipating a fight being brought to him with that time being so low and the bomb yet to be planted.
Imperial now truly suffering through the economy game.
Сиаран багшилж байгаа юм бариад авч.
All that they can get out here.
Гарчиж шүү.
They'll try their pushes in towards Palace, about to be received by Mizzino here, so he's going to realize the fact that that bomb.
Паласаар 3 урагшилж.
If these pistols can overrun these two.
Нөгөө маалан дээр гараад ирдэг ш.
Fortunately, it's only USPs and they've got utility to deal with them, so No Way will get isolated. Phelps going down towards Techno, and there is no threat generated by the eco in the end.
I think we can finally chill out for a little bit. Have a relaxed conversation. Yeah. How have you been today?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Nice to hear. Always keep your friends in check, guys. Always ask them how they're doing, how they're feeling, if they had a good, nice meal.
How have you been today, Dad?
Oh, thank you. I've been fantastic. The fact that I get to hear your voice for a couple more hours, almost ruined my day, but no.
Wow.
За USB-тэй гарч ирээд.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Манайхан ойлгомжтой.
I really am.
За 4-3 манайхан нэг раунд зөрөгтэй болголоо.
No, I don't think so. I think my voice is much more annoying than yours is. You're a lovely person. See? That's how you compliment people. Twitch chat, take notes. You rude people? No, you're not rude. We love you. I wonder if Miguel is gonna turn up, by the way. Give us another prediction as yesterday.
That was a good moment.
If he turns up and gives a prediction in chat, by the way, I want to see him on the broadcast again. He nailed it yesterday with Bestia.
They got the victory in the end, and they'll be playing later on today against 3D Max. So Again, we'll be bringing you that matchup as this one will conclude. It's not about over an hour and 20 minutes from the scheduled start time. So, lots to look forward to, even if we are approaching the end of the online portion of the Thunder Pick World Championship. Imperial fighting not to meet their end in the tournament. Tactical pause called in for the first time in this map-up because Mongols are beginning to catch up here.
Yeah, they really are. And of course, if you're Imperial, at least you get the blessing of having a really well seasoned coach, Zach, in the coaching spot, of course. As we mentioned yesterday, he was the coach of that Immortals team that made it all the way into the PGO Krakow final. Of course, we're talking about a lineup with some pretty familiar names. We're talking about Henny, Lucas, Steele, Bolts, KNG.
Try чи Близийг барьчлаа. Мэд дээр. За энэ Андер бүшилсэг мэдээг байгаа юм. За шорт Андер. Ямар амар агрессив тоглолттой.
Steps onto the double, and Techno is suddenly feeling very lonely. Only took about 25 seconds for this round to end.
Yeah, and this
Philipsийг хоёрхан ээж битээд
I don't know whether the coach was the one to try to go for that opening pick, but that probably was the conversation if you're Imperial, right? You recognize the fact that losing middle control and middle presence in the last couple of rounds was actually quite problematic. Even when you had those setups and aggressive plays in towards Ram, Palace, the B apartments, most of the time the Mongols, just on the back of having full middle access, were able to find a way back into the round. So you just go in early, you challenge, you deny it, the fights go your way, try with a double Phelps. In no way with one apiece, and now it's just Techno trying to do as much damage as possible. Shouldn't be allowed more than that one kill. Maybe a second at best.
You can find Phelps
nice
in
try.
that particular fight, but he's running into Try instead, and Try has landed a hell of a round for his AWP, a guy that we highlighted over on the last map up, and for good reason. You'll be looking at him to try and make a difference in this one. I think the only reason why Imperial were able to get that comeback in the first place was because of his return to form in the second half over on Dust 2.
I mean, sometimes it's going to be quite simple. You see Try play a little bit below the level that you're expecting out of him in one series, and then the next couple games he's playing well and they win. There's going to be an association made between the two, right?
Well, Mongols associating a new threat on the board again for the Imperial side. Tactical brought in for the second round here. The Mongols, their chance to talk things through. The Imperial still lead the charge, even though Mongols are going to do a little bit of catching up. The rifle base is in from both sides. The economy starting to build in from the Imperial camp. Quick in.
Дахиад энэ Андер бүшилсэн. Ямар
Techno does catch Norway as he extended out towards the underpass position. Phelps is also low HP from his earlier fight.
Хөөхгүй гараад байд та. Имзийн ядрыг урагшлаад унгана гэж байх үгс. Имзийн өөрөө харуулчлаа. Шаан толж очоод унгасан 900. 4 эсрэг нэгээс 3 эсрэг нэг.
When I say never, I mean it. Never count 9-10 out of those rounds.
He only found one in this round. And the AWP in his hands really needs to isolate each of these individual fights. Imperial spread out across their line. They're only coming in from Connector and Jungle. They've got Phelps, who was considering the wrap in towards CT, but he's backed off to the B side just in case 910's going for a different rotation. Time is running short on him. He needs to get that bomb down and get him a bit more breathing room if he goes towards the A site, and at this point he's going to have to commit towards it. There's no time for a rotation from this ramp control. And they're just offering absolutely nothing on Imperial here.
He might save.
Yeah,
I think he does.
Seems
10 секунд AWP-г сэвэлсэн. Тоглолтын тань 6-гаар болсон. Манай хатаас дэм мөнгөгүй болчихж байгаа хаа.
Minimums hit by Imperial on the CT side of MaaRaa.
You know what, the discipline we've seen from Imperial so far, MaaRaa.
За манайхан ч нэг терроороос нэг 5 раунд авах.
I know we had that one awkward situation with
дарагдаад байна да.
we can overlook that just for the sake of the point.
Well, it's just
Imperial. Yeah, it's just one situation, and it's a round that they still ended up winning, right? So we can't make too much out of it. In general, Imperial have been really good with the reactions as well.
Тэгвэл лайк гэдэг ширээ гэдэг зэрэгсэлсэн лайк гэдээрээ.
Started it off anticipating the Mongols to go for that mid presence. Obviously, the game plan was quite decent. They started with the aggression in towards the extremities. Later on, found out that it's not really going to work out. They denied the middle once. Then they go back to having a couple players in towards mid, but still being ready for the aggression in towards the extremities. Imperial are just one step ahead of the Mongols right now. They are showing a really good game plan.
Mongolian team, now they suffer their own economy states.
Юу вэ? Манай Андре нээдвэр. Блицийг бүр ёо 3 HP толгойчлаа бүр. Ямар амар нээдвэ энэ одоо. Манайх нэг бүр мид тоглохгүй шидчихтэй өдрөөрөө. Ямар санаатай юм бэ те? Бразилчууд ч баг хожоо санталж байгаа юм шүү.
Again, they are leaning in towards that A bomb side, and no one's going to get up close in person and win towards the ramp. Question is, how quickly are they going to push forward? Answer is, quickly enough. Now they will know this is probably going to be a B play.
Тэнд бүр интернал шившгээ хоч.
Found out. Phelps finds the frag. Advantage taken.
Хуучны интернал ирчих гинэ. Хуучны интернал ямар байсан. Зя апсар 4.
Time is short on them and the B site is looking to be the target. Vinny finds 9-10 next. Molotovs don't land the bomb site.
Ёо эн чи бүр ёо 3-ыг нэгээ ажиллаа Vinny.
Vinny supports him. Try will go down, but it's completely meaningless to the T side here. Blitz, no chance of making a take of the site happen. No chance of getting a bomb down. Certainly no chance of winning the clutch. It is number 7. Imperial have the half.
Eternal Fire-ыг Keydrop-ийн спонсорлдог юм байлээ. Albis-ний спонсор Keydrop-ийн баг юм байлээ.
Actually might even lose Blitz after time. No way. Peaks just in at the moment and does hold no way. So can keep that rifle, can keep that weapon. That is at least an important thing towards the Mongolian side here because money is still running short on them.
Eternal Fire.
Starting to run away with this half.
Yeah, they are. And the one thing that I like about this so far for Imperial is that we're not seeing that scrappy gameplay of them just relying on the individuals to go crazy. I know Vinny did pull off that insane triple coming towards B, but you can just see the thought process. The pushes have been really good. They've been going for information gathering in the middle of the round if they need to, if they don't need to, and they already have the man advantage courtesy of the early opening fights.
Oh, nice. Blitz. Ramper гараад opening гэж шүү дээ болж.
Don't drop the ball against the half by. This is rule number 1 of a successful counter.
4-5 даавалт юм шүү.
Never works.
2 раунд хэрэгтэй байна да guys та.
Well, the AWP has found the opening kill, so that's a start for the Mongols.
2 раунд хэрэгтэй байгаа.
The save weapon from the previous round, wanting to apply that to good effect here, and if they can enable a steal back from the Mongols, and it could still end up being a 5-7 half. And we saw what Imperial did from that deficit on map number 1. The Mongols are our favourites in this series. You can expect them to look to similarly try and turn their odds against them. But it is just an opening pick, no more than that. With mid control being taken by Phelps here, you might end up seeing some aggressive fights.
Oh, nice.
Have to try and deal with
Phelps.
9-10. An adjustment must
Мид урагшилж яваад өглөө. AK аваад өгч байгаа юм байна. Баярлалаа. Бид нэр ачигч мартахгүй бродер.
You don't know if they had aggressive players in towards the B apartments, if he wanted to actually cross there. You don't know if they had anyone in towards A.
За let's go.
As of right now, he's alone. Try didn't spot that player in towards them beneath the window. And Techno, that's a lot of information.
Try.
Prize court, Senzu, Desensi. Still stands alone to the bomb site with the smoke suppressing try means that they can't really see much. Techno known.
Oh, Techno. Ямар амар. Нэсэлттэй Techno, инстэг Techno. За чи нэгээс л гоногч чадчихгүй. За 2 раунд.
Imperial, well, you said they shouldn't concede the half by, they just did.
Yep. They really did. And that's how a game like this one could slip right through your fingertips. Right? That's been such a comfortable, such a well-drilled.
Бас нэлээд ядарсан байх шүү.
When you drop one against the Pistols, if the Mongols are able to get away with 5 rounds out of that T side, considering how well Imperial have been playing, this is going to be too much. at least you're gonna have enough money for the reinvestment into the next one. Phelps try should be good enough. There's gonna be an AVP in the hands of Try as well, but it's just such a big round from the Mongols. You set a blitz to get that opening kill. In-game leader with the save dope gets it, puts his team in a 5v4. Then you're just waiting for Imperial to get uncomfortable. You're waiting for that mid-round aggression. Phelps gets deleted from the deagle. We're gonna check it out on the replay. That is so pristine.
Энэ trial бүр амар байгаа юм да.
And this shot was over. That was the end game. That was curtains. The moment that you see this one, you know this round is not going in favor of the Brazilians.
Блиц бүр апара иргэн гачдаг шүү.
Start to have a look at that mental game conversation again from Imperial. I mean, we had a small little glimmer of it in the last map because of how close they were to ending it, and I didn't think it was going to be a huge factor coming into this one, but now you start to see them taking pressure and start to wonder what the mentality is like in that camp, knowing that they were looking so confident, maybe even having a 9-3 half at a
Tactical timeout Imperial-аас авсан. Эхний агс хамгийн сүүлийн раунд манайхан 5-7 байна уу?
If not 9, by the way. I mean, there was a realistic possibility for 9 rounds here on the city side for Imperial. And if you end up with only 7, I mean, it's still not a bad result.
Яа, Dryч бүр ямар ч юм ав дээр ямар сайн байгаа болж байна тий.
It's just all turned on his head. So yeah, the Mongols with a great opportunity here. Knowing what they would go for. No way, the only one taking a bit of a financial hit in terms of the weaponry. Of course, utility department is not the best here for the CTs. No way on a FAMAS, but still should be good enough. And this time, early push in towards the ramp. Not really giving it away with a flash either.
За бүгдөө урагшлахгүйгээр нэлээ сейф автчихж байгаа юм байна. Баярлалаад. Connector нэг хагийн сайт 2. Jungle нэг бидэр ганцхан тоглогч. Connector гарч үзэж байна. Connector гараад 2-ыг нь гачлаа өрөө. Яа, ямар амар трейдүүд вэ? Imperial-ийн тоглолтод орчлаа.
Yeah, you just disturbed the mid round. That was a perfect call. You early push in towards the ramp, don't see anything, leave instantly and just reaggress middle. And it's just Messino.
8-4 ихний хасаг өндөрлөлж байгаа юм байна.
Triple from the man to close it out. Imperial tactical timeout pays dividends. They get 8 rounds in the end of the day. And you know what? Even with the round that you drop against the pistols, 8 rounds should be
Гиндүүлж жагаад connector мид гараад jungle-аас бүр тусламж үзүүлээд бүр амар сайчлаа.
And this is what you want to be seeing, by the way. Vinny smiling, laughing, everyone being in good spirits right now. This is an Imperial team that doesn't look like a lineup that's playing not to lose. This is a team that's playing to win. And this is a team that realizes this game is not over.
And that does ease my concerns about mental game. The fact that they're looking like, you know, as you say, a squad that's playing to take the series rather than not lose it.
I mean,
that is, it might seem like such a minor thing, but it really makes a difference in terms of your mentality approach to a match.
Sure, you want to be making all the same decisions.
Situation,
right? When you know objectively something is the right play or the right call, you want to be able to give it even when things haven't been going your way so far. And I said that a couple days ago. I honestly believe that in amongst all the teams in the world, Imperial is probably one of the top teams in terms of team atmosphere.
Yeah.
And in terms of people just not tilting, not being frustrated. Obviously, I mean, you're probably going to see it the most on Phelps' face, but then you're looking at the left-hand side, you see Vinny who's smiling even if he's losing 0-13. It definitely is good to have an IGL that doesn't get phased by the mental of it. You're just always in the moment, always focused.
Айсан зургийн чи short-ter нэлийн дэмжлэлээд авлаа да. Мэдэр олон гүйсэн jungle орчиж ийн бро. Critically юм шиг байна баг. Эмзэний оюун ч ramp дээрээс нэг нь гарсан. Хүй. Try юу амар трэгт ажиглаа. Яа, унгаалт өнөө унгаасан. За 2-3 юм байна. Bomb contacts. За smoke гоё. Nice, стер энэ унгачлаа. Jungle юм. За хүн хамгаална. Хамгаалсан. Манайхаараа давсаа.
wipe some of that sweat off of your foreheads. That was a really close one towards the end with Phelps starting to tap away with the Glock, and with the amount of time that he was actually able to stay alive for, Mizinho probably should have been able to get a double out of this great refrac out of Tri-Spit 250, and he was able to rack a couple more there on the board, but unfortunately really well played by the Mongols there for Imperial. Didn't really give them too many chances. Phelps did give it a good crack, but Senzu able to protect that diffuser, and Imperial obviously are going to go for the fourth.
Томны раунд бомб тавьчихсан. Force-лоод 2 галил. 1 Mac-10 2 дигэл гараад ирж. Ramper need байна уу guys?
Mid smokes are all a ruse, or they all protect Phelps with that mist window.
Ramper гоё need байна уу? Баггүй юм байна да. Итэлэдэг юм уу?
Smokes coming down towards the stairs, connect the jungle, also get smoked off. Molotovs at dark will keep Blitz out in the open. Fast flash over, doesn't affect the FAMAS. Not coming in, no way it's going to get the kill.
Яаж бодоод байгаа
юм. Advantage here for Imperial, and Mongols are playing behind these smokes. They may as well set themselves in for the retake.
Тэр мэд тэр нэг үсрээд яваад. За болж инсэн зурав Senzu 1-1 унгасан. 3-2. Яа тэр jungle орчиж байгаа юм нэ л.
45 seconds in a 2 versus 2. Rifles on both players here for the T-side line. Trying to get some wallbang damage in for the ticket booth and box.
За Senzu.
Senzu gets on top of ticket, gets try. SMG from Techno doing a
Senzu болцсон.
but all players are low in
Bomb
this
баасан.
bomb has been recovered and Phelps
Шууд тавьчих байгаа юм байна.
They're both leaving. They're both going to go jungle. Phelps is not going to be ready for this. He's just going to think, okay, they're playing this one safe. They're going to let me fall back. Even if he gets the first kill into the jungle player, he's never ready for it.
Woo! Senzu. Ямар гоё унгаач. Анагдсангүй штэ.
Make the retake successful.
Yeah, and that is one that they needed absolutely.
Дахиад бомб тавьсан. Force-лж магадгүй. Imperial-ийнхэн дахиад дахиад force-лж магадгүй.
If they win this one back, you're looking at a 9-5 score, potentially 10-5, potentially even 11, because they would have had to actually force back. That's one that you needed to win, and the most terrifying part of it all, the fact that Imperial are still able to get that bomb plan. So if the Brazilians want to go for a full investment here, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad decision. You get those 3 kills. A half buy is probably a little bit more justifiable, but the Mongols are still not out of the depths just yet. This is still a round that could do a whole lot of damage.
Pistols set in.
Оо за smoke-наас Blitz. Амар нэг kill. 8-6. 2 раунд дөрөвтэй байж тоолно.
They're not going to find a chance right here. Phelps has already been tagged in his mid stance. The Tech 9s are Descenti providing covering fire, but they're playing behind the smokes here on goals.
За jungle-а бүр оруулаад авчиж байгаа юм байна.
You have a 5v4, you know it could be a half buy, it could be a force. You've probably realized it's a half buy.
Bomb apps-аар урагшилж байгаа.
You've heard some of the Tech 9s saying.
Нөгөө талаас бас force-лж нэг галил гаргачих. Нэг Mac-10 2 Tech 9. Нөгөөд нь ямар ботой байсан юм бол та. Өгснө. Та тэр ч ямаагүй те.
Just spotting that boost, Techno locked in towards connector. There should be no way for Imperial to walk into this one unless someone goes absolutely nuclear.
За Connor 2 flash дээр. Яа, идэр flash бүр. Ёо. Phillips бүр. Яач. Хүй. Шалгасангүй. Хажууд нь байгаа. Юу болоод нэ? За амар цунгаас ш. Nii за хоёр тоглож мэдээлэл навс. Нэг нь ангасан. Яа, knife-лаад энэ нүр. Онч чинь. Юу болвоо? Ямар амар раунд авчихваа.
on that A bomb side. So many things happening, so much chaos. First of all, that angle into our CT, into our ticket. They don't see Mizinho, but he doesn't see them either. And 910, look at that. Try just knifes him a couple times. He's down to the Deagle, switches between guns, and then Try even jump shots him in the end. It's just insult to injury right now, and that was the half by. Yep, this one is falling apart right now. And it's a tactical timeout coming out of Imperial. They know. They have the ball in the corner.
Барилж болохгүй шүү guys.
Exactly where they want them. 9-6 in favor of Imperial. Forced by coming out of the Mongos. I don't think they have money to bring out a single rifle. That was just a half buy for Imperial. It wasn't even a force.
Yeah, they got massive value out of that round. Set themselves back on track.
You can feel your prediction.
Imperial-аас тактикал таймаут авах юм тэгснэ.
So I'm a little bit excited over here.
Манайхаас биш.
Those 3 maps. Those damn 3 maps. Well,
I'm not even looking for Imperial to win. I just needed to go to 3 maps for Mongos
yeah, I
to
know.
take it.
За 3 дахь map за үзмээргүй шүү.
We are running the broadcast talent prediction competition here. Still, the Mongols forced by not to be overlooked, even though you're probably not going to get too many chances.
Tramp хоёроо
But it's still
мэдчихлээ.
managed to kick things off onto No Way.
Хүй.
Kills against Techno and
Winnie Phillips хоёр яаж унагаач.
Important extra
He's open.
confidence as well. Yeah, the B site is open, so the bomb's going to make its way in as Vinny detects no further presence, and Decenti will work down Mizinho here.
Яа, Phillips орж унагаачлаа.
Finding him out in the open despite being on low HP, just unaccounting for his push forward from that connected position.
Bomb Babster bir орчлоо.
They forced into this round, and this could well lead to a 11-6 scoreline for the Imperial side.
What you want to make sure of right now is not to give away too many lives if you're Imperial, and too many weapons as well.
За энэ Phillips ч амар тоглоод байна.
That was a great shot onto 910. Yeah, that's how you don't give anything away. You just headshot them. You know, you aim at the head, press mouse 1. Counter-Strike really is a simple game in the end of the day. Sensu, ego in hand, doesn't even have a rifle to hold on to. Spotted out. Probably going down any moment now, and this is going to be full eco coming in into the next one. Imperial are going to get another 11-6 lead. I say another. I mean, the Mongols were the ones with the 11-6 lead on Dust 2, and Imperial were able to come back into it. Now the Mongols will have to do the same. Of course, this is me making a wild statement and assumption that Imperial should be able to win against the full eco. Should be. We've seen crazier
right
things happen.
Yeah, you are right about the parallels here. It was 11-6 where Mongols led, and Imperial brought in that comeback to get to map point first on Dust 2.
Right. So, 4 USPs, Armored Deagle and Senzu. How many does he get?
Probably 1 at best, considering that there's only 1 man in mid.
Sure.
Манайхан full eco.
I'll say... Oh, he's rotated B. Okay.
Яа, 16 болгоно шүү дээ.
I mean, he might still push on with these short
За
players,
short
maybe
дээр
he might still find Phelps. The
гараад
concern
шууд
really is
болчихж
Blitz
байгаа юм.
because the execution is for real out towards the A-bomb site. Phelps able to isolate 9-10.
Зонгоос тэгтээ Агийн сетиг нэзэлсэн.
An AK to save into the next round right now for the Mongol side. I still don't see them winning out a retake in this 3-on-4. The Deagle will try and find a miracle kill, but nothing's going his way there.
Yeah, it's just a couple tags. I mean, it's all right for Mizinho to hold on to the AK. It's still a good outcome. The negative part about it, Imperial moving up to 11 and edging ever so close.
За эмдэн нэг AK аваас явуулж байгаа.
Inferno, probably one that was out of the conversation after what we saw on Dust 2, but Imperial have brought in a surprisingly high level of play to that Mirage. And I mean, so far in this event, it has been going all right for them, but I guess a 13-11
16-аас барилт байна guys.
19 loss to NIP. Couldn't really sell you on the fact that Imperial's Mirage is perfect. This, so far though, has been fairly decent. And this could be, I mean, this is a map that Imperial have been able to win only twice out of their last 7, by the way. And it's just Legacy and Pain that they've been able to take down. You're talking about losses to the Red Cannons, NIP, MIBR, Sharks, Fluxo, some of those maps without them even reaching double digits. But you know what? All of that doesn't mean a thing, because those were online results. We're on LAN, baby. Well, technically not, but almost. This is Europe. This is international competition. And they're showing the best of themselves.
цай барьцгаая.
Have their rightful buys here. 2 more before they would lose out on their own map pick.
Трайч дарчдээ шүү. Чигэлдэггүйгээр тоглохгүй бол. За коннектор эзлэсэн. За 900 орохныг хэлсэн. Болж байна.
Now, even if Imperial want to go up connector in towards that A bomb side, I mean, they're going to have to do it without any
Imperial-ийн mid control-ыг л ямар ч асуудалгүй чадгаамаа хэлчих. Нэг давуу тал нь бол тэгээд байгаа.
Starts the rotation in towards the B bomb side, so that seems to be the most likely execution here. Partner's just got smoked though. Techno's going to keep him suppressed as best as possible. 40 seconds to the clock. No way.
Запсар ярлаа да.
Try and Phelps right behind him. The 2 AKs are the 2
заавал нь Жофенгел дээрс техно. Яа, бэрэгчж байгаа юм байна. Ёо, 900 плизиг өнө гачлаа. Ёо, өдөр чи бүр яа игээд байгаа бэ? Ёо, Ooh, за энэ ч бас манай Mirage. Map point алдчих.
And yeah, we were talking about the Argentine domination so far in the Thunder pick. Let's talk about it again. Tries just bringing in
Ёо, буугаас явж чадсангүй. Imperial ч Mirage дээр ямаасан сэт байгаа л тийм дээ.
It hasn't even been close on Mirage. They're not able to pack a punch. They don't know what's hitting them right now.
Ай try бүр амар ядаргаатай зоолоо байна.
Wow, that was a lightning fast shot from Try. Wonderful stuff from him.
Try гэж бүр ямар амар тоглолт.
Yeah, get a little bit of candy. You deserve it. Job well done on the prep.
Haribo as well. Not bad. Need to be a lot more better here for the Mongols' return. Already they've lost Blitz in the
тэнчээр. Дээсэнтэй хоёр гэн гачлаа. Эмзэний Блицэг өргөн гац.
Senzu hoping that someone gives him a gap there. The tiniest angle you could ask for on that from us. And Try just be there to receive any presence that might come through against his AWPA position. 5-on-3 established. Imperial are in full control.
This is the opportunity. This should be the closer.
Ой, анчуу сая. Анчлоо.
Through smokes. You just cannot escape him. This is going to be Oshiro definitely. Try it, just not.
За технологи баригдчихэ.
And down goes Techno. Imperial refusing to go down and out of the competition. They stumped the Mongols on Mirage and we're going to a third.
За 3 дахь map.
We were all convinced that this was going to be a 2-0. That Mirage that we've mentioned before, so precision from Mongols in the highest tier of competition, lost it out to Eternal Fire in their last
Inferno гарс.
I mean, that's just ridiculous, right? Like no one really
ширт унтаа гэж бодсон ч тий.
Mongols would have conceded towards Imperial on this map, especially after edging them out on that dust too. But the fact it's come the way of the Brazilian side and it's looked so confident, man, that might set us up for a serious upset on Inferno.
I think it really is.
Одоо кейс эргүүлээс авах уу. За тэгээ манайхаа энэ хүүгийн вэйд оролцохдоо битээ мартаарай guys.
It's like it never happened. They're like, okay, you know what? Does to happen. We should have won it. We didn't. On to the next. We know we have a good game plan going into this Mirage.
Хэрвээ та нар утсан дээр чинь join now гэд бичих гарч ирэхгүй байх юм бол шүү дээ.
We know we've got the firepower and we know we can dominate the Mongols and no one saw that one coming. But I'm loving it. Imperial going into that.
Утасныхаа сайт руу ороод ингээд rotate хийчингүүд шууд join now гараад. Ингээд join now гараад.
Because look, now things go right up in the air. So up in the air that I'm curious to find out how much so. Maybe the analysts might have some answers for us.
Тэгээ энэ хажууд байгаа giveaway дээр join дараад. Тэгээд оролцох боломжтой юм байна.
because the territory coming up next, they're very treacherous waters, right?
Жирийн үед бол ингээ give aid нэг хажуудлаас нь join now гэж харагдах байгааз. Уцаар rotate гэдэг үзэх юм байна. Тэнгүүт
And even though you had players like Senzu still having some pretty decent highlights, right? He ended that game with like 18 kills on a losing game in that fashion. It's simply not enough, right? We saw 9-10 be deactivated. Blitz wasn't really looking all that great. Mzinho and Techno kind of nowhere to be found on the server. And
тэнгүүт join now гэдэг бичиг нь гарч
how
ирж
we go from a dominant Dust 2 shutting down Imperial.
give aid оролцох байхгүй нэрээ.
I thought Mirage would be better.
Нэг ч хараагүй шүү дээ.
And I think we're going to get to sort of see that story being told even better when we look at the replays, huh?
Yeah, me too. I'm going to be honest. Like, it was a great start for Imperial, and I really did feel
Join дараад MaaRaa promo code-ыг ашиглана.
that wasn't going to last too
Тэгэл
long.
$2
Just
deposit
kinda kept
тэгэл
going, and every now and again there were these little moments back.
заавч
from
$2 гэхгүйгээр $2 item байж болно.
Here we go. Now they tie up the scoreline. Now they start.
Тэгээ хоёр кейс нөгөө онголгон 50 центийн бонустай.
Little flashes in the back.
Эхний зэнгэлэлт нь нараа үн бонус өгнө.
Unable to really snowball anything together. We saw a lot of messy rounds in this game as well, but it started off very clean. And on the replays here, we're seeing a lot of great work from Imperial to get that 4-0 start. Things started to claw back a little bit. Actually, ended up going as close as 5 before Imperial were able to sort of pull away.
Гол зөвлөлөө гол дараа кейс нээж болно.
Felt like he just had 9.
For sure, and I think the first sort of sign that I had that Mongols were going to start to come back into the game was when they found it was a half Imperial dropped it, and
This
you know,
one here.
I think Ted and Eternal J, they themselves also sign of the times to come, but then after an 8-4 finish on the first half, and even with the little resurgence from Mongols being able to get the pistol and sort of get the conversions, even the conversions looked very, very shaky. I think there were a couple moments there, like especially that round we saw where we saw the knife shenanigans in the smoke, right? Where it kind of looked like it could be recollected, but even with some very fantastic shots from Senzu, had some very funny shot there, the collateral through the teammate, right? And you could see shots like that, just pot shots that keep working. How good the confidence was for Imperial, like all to show for the Mongols. Very, very surprising stuff. And you know, I put the limelight on.
Ooh, big clutch.
Above and beyond in the AWP comparison. 9-10 was being ran circles around him, trying to get on Mirage, right? You were dominating the server.
Absolutely, yeah, and it even felt like, you know, the couple of rounds that Mongols were able to win in those moments, especially that round number 11, was off of the back of sort of over-aggression and some mistakes there from Imperial, not taken away from the successes of some beautiful shots. And it's a player a little disjointed, there was no trade potential, things like that. So they did very well to just patch those mistakes. I think after a tilting round loss like that can sometimes play on your mind. Looking at this scoreboard then, as you try, that MVP was
Зинхрэл явч. Аагүй. Тэгнэ энэ зэрэг биш.
But pretty top heavy stuff there for the Mongols. Senzu had a great game.
Redline дээр зогсон ч байхгүй л.
Kills across the map. It just doesn't feel like a Mongols map pick at all, does it? And I think that, you know, when you look at the numbers and you look at the predictions from everybody as well, this was teed up to be a 2-0, and you know, there was no doubt about the fact that Mongols were the favourites coming into this. And now, after such a poor performance like that, I think it really comes into question. I think this third map could definitely go either way, especially if Try is playing like he's playing here. My one concern for him is the fact that that third map is Inferno. Inferno can be
for an
AWP.
And we gotta look at the time capsule for a moment, right? You look at the types of wins that the Mongols have gotten.
Эндээс голден койл нагаж болох юм биш үү?
enigma to me that we end up seeing off the ball against Imperial. It's honestly just very surprised.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
$12.
I think that they've definitely got what it takes, especially if you factor in the momentum to go that step further and maybe even
Oh,
themselves stage, which would be a massive win for these. One of the biggest results for them this year for sure.
Энэ технайн тийм үнэтэй юм уу те? Би ч профит хийгээд байгаа юм шүү. Профит хийгээд байна те? Энд чи ямар айтайхан кейс байна нэ? Тэгсэн чи юу вэ? Golden coil өнгөрч. Энд өнгөөр ялгаа тавьсан юм шиг шүү дээ. За энэ бол их тэмэрэгдэхгүй. Энэ бага улаан кейснүүд, улаан бота кейснүүд баг шүү дээ. Энд ч бас golden coil байна. Golden coil өнгөрцөө. Golden coil. Give me golden coil. Тэр golden coil яагаад өнгөрөв? 18 гэж. Ой, тэр golden coil өнгөрөөд байгаа юм да яалтчих. Ончих гээд байгаа юм шиг, онохгүй юм шиг гэж. Яг тэр golden coil өнгөрөө шагаа. Яа. Өнгөрнөц тэгнэ тэгтэр. Аха 3 АК зэрэгцээ. За готэрсэн. XP цуглуулад ивентэд оролцох боломжтой юм билээ. Тэгээ өнгөө кейсүүд нэ. Та нар ч гэсэн бүртгүүлээд байгаа өнгөө кейсүүдийг нэгэд үзэхгүй те. Тэгт. Giveaway-д оролцохоор л юм байна да guys. Guys. Ингээд join дараал орчих гэсэн юм шиг. Одоо гэмбэлэр нэг ч уураг байгаа болохоор та нарт боломж байна. За гол дараа нэг дуслын кейс усаач. Ингээ favorite дотор хийж болох юм биш үү? Энэ ямар хөвгөө юм бэ тэгш. Оо. Бас хөөрхөн аа. Дахиад гараад ирдэг ш. Shit. Upgrade хийгээд үзв. $5. Энэ акаро. Upgrade. Хийх. За аачих. $15 инфорыг. Энэ ака хэрэг. Legion Anubis гэнэ үү? Энэ M4 хэрэг. Энэ бас юм хөөрхөн M4 бай тээ. Black Lotus гэнэ үү? Atlas card нь тэгж хүмүүс харагддаг юм биш. Өөр юм байж болох уу? Энэ юм фар хэрэг. Нэ. Мохон байна. Хиш. Энэ л гоё юм байна. Өөр гоё юм байна. Үзэх үү одоо? Үзье те. Авчаач. Авс. Оо, бор татсан. Энэ тэгээд юу юм? Stat track гинэ. Stat track дондаа юу юм? Factory name юу юм? Minimal ware юм уу? Юу юм? Зарам уустай. Шүх. Field test гэдэг нэ. Одоо юу яаж эцэх вэ? Энийг апгрейд хийж эцэх вэ? Энийг апгрейд хийхээр юу байгаад тах? Энэ байгаа юм шүү дээ. Өөр юм байна уу? Йоо, энэ бас ямар гоё яригд. Аш чинча. Not bad. Тэгтээ Өмнөхийг бол гүцэхгүй юм байна. Мяа юм байна. Энд дээр ямар гоё ярагддаг юм зөөлөх чинь. Гшээс. Golden Coil. Golden Coil одоо CS2 тэр яаж хараг. За бас өөрхөн. Golden Coil.
Well, many people looked at
Ой,
this
эхэлж.
series and didn't believe that the Mongols were going to concede a map, but I will say that I definitely called this, and I 100% believed it was going to be a 100% stop over on map 2 of Mirage. Instead, now we go to Inferno to decide who the victory is going to sit towards, Mongols or Imperial. Mongols have to bounce back from what was a dominating affair from the Brazilian side, as I said to the T side to start off the final.
Юу энэ бра Mongols go.
There's only one person in this entire Counter-Strike community whose name starts with a J and he's a legend, and that's not the guy on Navi. That's all I'm gonna say. It's you.
Here we go.
Заманах Inferno дээр алаад өгөн. Техноныг унгасан. Phelps. Сайт байгаа мэдсэн байгаа. Унсан. За Destiny шортоор орж ирж байгаа. Горон талч гурлаа гэтдэг юм байна. Сайн мэдээ. Пүү за Сензо нэг унгасан. Вини трейд хийж байгаа юм байна. Тэгтээ сайтн дээрээс Сензо амар. Ёо. За нэг эсрэг нэг бас ливгүрхч. To the Mongols гэнэ. To the Mongols.
Turning around, reloading, Glock there towards the back of the bomb site. Good play from the Mongols though. Yuto comes in, smoking towards Moto, Molin towards the pit, isolating the fight. Nice attempt by Imperial there. A couple nice shots being landed by Decent-D. This one incredibly quick on the reaction, but 9-10 able to hold on to it. And we're having the conversation about the mental. Obviously,
Заманаха ирж алдахгүй урагшаа.
How important is going to be for the Mongols to get the first couple rounds? Do you still feel like there is a world where the Mongols just go into this Inferno unfazed but what happened on Mirage and be like, you know what, we're ready to dominate? Do you see a world where that happens?
I mean, I can see a world in which that happens. I think the question is, will that become reality?
За бустэлсэн байна вэ гэж сайтн дээр.
Team in the world on HLTV's world rankings. I think they're number 13 at the moment.
Дөрөв тоглогч бустэлсэн.
Algorithm is telling correctly as well from HLTV.
За сүвнэр би 250. Энэ бас гоё сүвнэр байж шүү.
Game is going to be a little bit more composed because they have been in these circumstances where they have been, pressured by teams that have stunned them into silence to a certain capacity. Yeah, they might not have expected it to be Imperial here, especially given the fact that they took their own map pick, but maybe they have lost out on a few tricks over on the last map, so probably not going to look to get caught off guard here on this Inferno. But I could also see a world in which Imperial try and make this close. I mean, look, it is still a good map for the Brazilians. Yes, they've had a little bit of awkward times on it recently, but especially against Legacy during the
Оо тэрэгт болцсон ёо, хоёр тэрэгт болчлаа. Try унгацсан.
It's not impossible they can do it again.
You know how I'm looking at this matchup, by the way. I look at a server and I see two teams that play their best Counter-Strike when they're
За бууг нөхөхгүйгээ авчиж байгаа юм
they're
байна.
in the row of in which people just don't expect them to win or have no pressure on them. And I feel like for Imperial this is a good thing. They are the underdogs, the heavy underdogs going into this matchup probably. So you're probably the team with less pressure, and if you're the Mongols, you know there's going to be a lot of eyes staring at you.
За Imperial-ыг лангийн тэмцээнээс тосолтой байна манайхаа.
I mean, you're looking at the list of teams that are going to be on line.
Imperial-ыг лангийн тэмцээнээс нь хариулалтай байна уу? Германаас нь шууд нутаг буцаа. Нутаг буцаа гэдэг юм шүү дээ.
But VP is out, M80 is out, the Falcons are out, Big is out. There's so many teams that probably should have been your competition, or at least because
Mongols and Imperial try and join those top 4 teams again to go towards the LAN. Got Galils and AKs in from the Mongol side. Mac 10 on Techno 4K. All limited with the bonus weapons, and Imperial can only bring in the M4s, so the bi-state will set themselves up. No AWPs in the early match, of course.
За Imperial-аас full buy гарч ирсэн байгаа даа.
When the weapons come to play, then he may well find himself an excellent line of form.
I'd be able to looking like a split in towards the A-bomb side for now, though. The Mongols gathering up. You still have an abundance of smokes, flashes, molotovs to make this one work. Imperial have done a good job at holding on to the majority of their utility as well. It's going to be key onto when No Way wants to use that molotov. Well-placed nade actually doesn't do as much damage as they might have been hoping for it to do, but on 45 seconds, No Way still has a smoke and a molly. This could be detrimental.
Эмзэнийг сарай гарчдаг ш. Хүй. Тэр битэн дотор амьдраад байна уу? Хүй. Энэ хүн ч бүр амьдраад байна. Ёо, USB-гээр унгачлаа ой. Ёо, USB-гээр хоёрогоос хайчлаа.
What a steal that is for Imperial. Well, I guess it was a rifle round victory, but think about how much that USP got.
I mean, you can say that again, but it's not even a steal for Imperial. It's a steal from Decenti. What is that play? No way misses fully. Decenti wins the first.
Decenti ч бүр easy ч байгаа юм уу?
Wins the second. USP out. 4 HP to work with it. He gets a double ding.
Yo.
Awful angle to be fighting up against him. Look at the smile on Vinny's face. He knows. He's got a couple players on his side of the server that could turn things around for him. And Decenti's definitely one of them.
Ёо, дабл нейдэн дээр. Ёо, манайх full bite шүү дээ.
Lord.
Ехүти технайнаар сэдзүү. Эмзэнийг унгаагаачлаа. Ёо, тэр нейд бүр юу вэ?
And no bomb plant bonus for the Mongol side. Imperial very quickly even up.
As the next B player, by the way, I can tell you one thing for sure. When you deploy those anti-rush,
Яа, яг crash тоглолтын дээр нь яста муухай.
this is the best feeling in the
Нейд
world.
орж ирлээ дээ.
Hold mouse one, and all of them are going to start falling down like dominoes. This is the best feeling ever. And you can
За инээчлээ. Инээ сайн инээ гэдэг.
He doesn't even get too many kills. He doesn't get anything done there. Bar the util damage, but he's like, yeah, those were my nades. This was my call. You ate all of that damage. You inhaled that. You remember it.
Ding
It's
down
just the best
starts
feeling.
on the Mongol side who will
Яа, тэр нейдүүд нь бүр ямар амар ордог юм бэ Imperial-ийн.
limited weaponry they've got is a much harsher eco this time. The PT50 only Senzu.
Вуу! P250-аар тарихтай байсан.
That's pretty decent.
Нейдэн дээр блиц явчлаа.
Will catch him off. M4 for Senzu to play with. Zeno's going to get caught by the
my
Senti,
goodness.
looking back in for a triple in the end. The quadra.
Яа, надаа унгаасангүй.
Point of health. The taps are brilliant.
Вау.
Quite the next
Nice
match.
try.
Senzu will take him back and make it expensive.
Eco round. 3 бонус.
Scale of things is certainly encouraging there for the T-side line, but man, the Senti is just having a worldie of a start.
Do we have a bloody MVP award for a group stage, by the way? Because if we do, we gotta give it away to Decenti, man. This guy is incredible. He's immortal. It's impossible to take him away. It's impossible to take him down. He's like Sauron. You gotta destroy all the rings, and no one knows where the rings are. He's just immortal. And every single time you take him down, he just comes back with another multi-kill. He is exceptional. What a player.
Indeed. Imperial getting up to number 3 as a result of his efforts. The HE start coming
За
in.
манай нейд бас гоё орлоо.
Try and get back involved here towards Banana, are waited out for any anti-rush utility. Smokes involved, the Molotov's deep. Phelps is holding from the main entrance towards Banana. There's 3 players total over here on the B bomb site. So Mongols, you ready for some serious.
За банана контролтчиж байгаа юм биш үү энэ ч ой try.
Players out of dodge, but they get completely out of Banana.
Yep. Forced away by the util. This is the conditioning, right? All that.
Тийш 2 нейд ороод ирэлч бас ливгүүдтэй те. За тэгсэн гэсэн. Эмзэнийг унгачдаг гэж. Синзэг унгачдаг гэж. Энэ слайтай юм аа нэ те.
There's the reaction in towards the brackets, taking that space out as blitz.
Kill and tag damage heavy against the T side. They're going to wrap back in towards the A player where there are 3 players again holding Imperial. The perfect reads to adjust players at the right moments. Helps now. Ready for contact. Will be the man to defend this long position. He smokes down towards the arches. That will cut off.
Imperial чалтчгүй плей-офф орсон аргагүй юм байна.
30 seconds for Mongols to make the move.
This is becoming quite claustrophobic if you're Imperial. You gotta make a move. You gotta react. This angle from Phelps.
За эмзэний унгаас нь ч трейдинг хийж чинь Phelps. За шорт дээрээс улаацсан 910. Унгаа гоё болж байна. Яа тэр сайдн дээр ил гарцсан байж байгаа. Оо try бүр тархитаад унгаач чинь.
No bomb plant bonuses for the Mongols and certainly no round for them either.
Yeah, and I mean, you know the atmosphere is going to be top-notch right now for the Brazilians. Everything is just working out so well on that CT side. Try just getting away with so much. This is the first time Decent he doesn't get a multi-kill, by the way. And they're still able to hold on. Phelps towards the back of the bomb side, doing so much work. Getting the
Уул нунгаа шууд сайд руу орцсон бол тээ.
try with a lovely headshot to
Танд
finish it off.
сайдныхаа гадаа гэж тарлаа.
Imperial bringing in some Mirage level gameplay to Inferno. And I don't want to say it because it's quite early, but the Mongols really need a wake-up call right now.
За Imperial-ийн чинь дараалал нь 5 раунд авах гэдэг шүү.
This is the final map. You don't have any more insurances going into this one. You lose on Inferno, you're out of the event, and you're not going to play the LAN.
Talk about how heartbreaking
Даралт байна уу?
for Imperial to concede in 0-2 fashion, given how close they were to winning Dust 2, or for the Mongols, the prospect that you've actually forced out that overtime when Imperial were so close to denying, and you've instantly been responded to, and you collapse in the second and the third maps. That could be even worse for them.
Нэг хөлдөд авсан.
They are one of our 3 front runners in terms of tournament favorites that are left in the competition at least.
Probably the most consistent team, by the way. I'd say Heroic is probably the one with the highest ceiling, but Mongols is definitely, throughout 2024, the best and the most consistent team that we have in this tournament. They could get eliminated by Imperial, which I mean.
За шортор гүсээ. Манай Арт шас галгонч таахгүй л. Нөгөө дээсэнтэй чинь. Эмзэний нэгээс л унгаж утсангүй. За гоё трейд. Ардаас нь ороод ирсэн байна л дээ. Яа, хоёр унгаас. Yeah, 3 тоглогчийн донд.
Again, no cash injection for the Mongol side as they are getting quickly dealt with by Imperial in some of these rounds.
This guy is absolutely unbelievable, by the way. This is Decent with 4 multi-kill rounds so far on Inferno. How many rounds did he borrow? 7. In 4 of them, he's been able to get a multi-kill. And Phelps as well is starting to get fired up. This is quickly entering some dangerous territory right now for the Mongols. Even when
За одоо авахгүй л байна guys. Хэцүүдлээ шүү. Одоо л авъя да. 5 раунд дараалал алдчихлаа шүү.
That is exceptional.
Centralized to the bomb site, Mongols can't seem to push him away or force out any advantages in that particular engagement against the man. Every time they hit the A bomb site, he just posts up a roadblock.
Хөөе тэр смокер гарчлаа. За юу хийж байгаа та? Хайчих гэж байгаа.
Yeah, Phelps was just probably relying on the fact that he's going to catch them off guard or he's going to see.
Шууд тэгэл Google гарчдаг гэж бодож байна уу юу?
The flash there, it's a big opening kill from Techno, but again the util damage will leave a mark in no way.
За эмзэний энэ ч дүүл авах хэрэгтэй гэсэн 2 тоглож байгаа юм байна. Ядчаад хоёулаа юм аа.
Gets the kill, but both of them seen. Are you going to be ready for Vinny in towards long though?
3 players from the brackets position, smokes off against Vinny.
Хөөе тэрийг шалгасан. Ёй. Тэгсэн Вини 3-ыг нь гаачлаа. Ёо 4-ыг нь гаачлаа. Аа, наалт яа.
What do you do? What do you need to do? What do you have to do to win a round right now on that B side? You get the opening kill, you spot out 2 players, you're thinking, okay, they push B, we kill Phelps, Vinny's a B player, we see those 2 guys in towards the
Ah, тэр гэрман залуу.
Well, guess what?
Бас гараа өгднаа.
Vinny with a 4K out of nowhere. Mongols are struggling. They really are. And this is Imperial's individuals. They're just turning up. This is Imperial playing like this map is already over, like this game is already over.
I'm so surprised they haven't called a tactical pause in yet, Mongols. They're getting absolutely schooled at the moment.
I'm not sure you feel like you're being outplayed tactically. I think you probably realize you're just getting mauled down.
Yeah.
I know you know what's going on. You're always running into.
За манайха банана цуглц. Бэрэг үүхсэ. Энэ одоо амжилттай болох юм шиг санагдаад байна. Энэ observer ямар ажиллаг юм бэ? Би тэр контакт олох гэдэг чи А дээр байгаа 3 нэг л хараа. За тий trying байнгын шингэнэ гэж юу аах вэ те? Хо! Йоо, яг синзүг шалгагдчих заяа.
Not expecting Senza to be so close as well, so that's another rifle that they can pick up right here. Number of them scattered across the bomb site, including the AWP.
За гоё бүшилсэн манайхаа.
This is an all-important sequence and an all-important round for Mongols to steal back against Imperial. And then comes.
За 6-6-гаар сольж ижил гоё юм болно да яалтч.
You needed this one so much, by the way, and it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be a little bit unfortunate. Phelps is probably gonna feel like he was.
Гарбогоор 20 цэнээс бол бэгэн сетер болоход бол айгуу тухтай л таа угаасаа. Ялцчгүй хамгийн тухтай.
They're gonna go for the retake in the 3 versus 3, but the Mongols needed that mentally, not even round-wise, but mentally they really needed this one. You call a B-pop, you catch them off guard. The Oper is the only one to get a kill. Rifle doesn't get a single one. You avoid the util this time around. And I'd love to actually take a peek at the utility damage so far from Imperial if that's a possibility, because I would make a wild guess it's already over 500 by the way.
It's ridiculous, I'll tell you that much.
Аптай хүн байсан ч гэсэн энэ хурдтай тоглолтыг дийлэхгүй.
Good returns from the AK and the Deagles and such. Mongols, an all-important counter-steal round. Imperial will be looking to buy it back, but with the money state being where it is, this is Mongols' chance to try and close that gap, try and make it 6 apiece.
Oh, nice. 910. Try гэнэ guys. Апын авчиж байгаа юм байна.
Yeah, that's a really good opening kill.
Decent апын авчиж.
Some of those rounds. Remember back on Dust 2 as well. Try was finding a lot of openings, but when the Mongols started picking up rounds, it was 9-10 to open things up for them with that AVP, of course. Inferno being a little bit more difficult on that T side to open comparison to Dust 2, but still.
За банана контрол дээр л үзэлцээд байна
But
даа.
Imperial seems to be having the right idea here with that 3-man B lean.
Lashes in on the T side, keeping Phelps blinded, smokes in the way. Burst fire from Techno. Unable to spot the man. Yeah, it is.
За смок ирлээ. Энэ угаас харчиж байгаа юм байна. Синзүү. За яач юу? Тархин жоохон delete ч юу сая. За. Би clear. Сая яг юу бодож өгсөн гацсан юм бол компьютер нь гацсан юм болоо. Юм л бол смокоор л гарчих гаддаг хүмүүс юм да Imperial.
What type of a psychotic person would go for a play like that? I mean, I know Phelps did. He's in the server. We know who would, but would never expect something like that, I guess, under normal circumstances. And still, the Mongols do get 4 on the board. And you know what? We've been hyping up Imperial so much since the start of this. Multi-kills, hero plays from the individuals. And that's the reason, as we said, if you're the Mongols, you don't feel like you were getting outplayed on a tactical aspect, right? Or from a tactical aspect. You just felt like you were getting completely mauled down by the individuals. Well, Imperial stopped finding those multi-kills, and suddenly the Mongols have found themselves onto 4 rounds. Money of Imperial in a bit of a sticky situation, especially if you get those guns out of their hands. Mongols could still make this first half look quite respectful. Which, considering the fact that decency is still 15-7, by the way.
За 4-6. Хоёрхан раунд үлдсэн шүү guys. Үлдсэн хоёрын авчмаар л шүү guys.
Still a crazy score. The Mongols could still even get a tied game in the end of the first half.
All started with 9-10 here.
I'm sorry, that is ludicrous. I love Phelps so much. That is crazy.
And in fairness for Senzu, if he was looking at his monitor, he would have got that kill very quickly. So.
Яг үндэ Imperial-ыг амар хожмаар байгаа байхгүй.
In that particular situation, even if Senzu was to go down, I'm not saying it's his fault. It's just Phelps.
Tactical time out. Imperial-аас.
That's it. Sometimes this is how things happen in Counter-Strike. Imperial That's a well-placed tactical timeout. The start was great. Everyone was getting hyped up. Everything was working around. You gotta realize a lot of those rounds were being picked up because of individuals going crazy, because of Vinny going out and getting 4 kills into wars long, because of Decency getting multi-kills every single time that the Mongols tried to go A.
Тэр нээдүүд нэрэл
At least secure a win in the end of the first
амар орох юм аа нэрээ.
Imperial 1 round away from trying to do so. They've got the rifles in on Imperial's side. The two
За энэ хоёр бүүстлж байгаа
previous round.
баригдсан да. Яа игээд байгаа энэ хоёр бүр.
USP won't be able to get anything. Oh, that's easy dimes in from Senzu. Well, a very deflating way.
За 900 явалт.
All important round for. I mean, I guess not all important. It is an eco, but even so, you'd hope that the rifles. You'd hope that the rifles would do something in that exchange and just no.
I'll just say, they are persistent. I'll give them that because they failed the boost like 5 times and still kept going for it. In the end of the day, though, I mean, you made so much noise. You failed it so many times.
Яалтчгүй бүр амар ядарчжээ.
Because the util damage again was quite good. Senzo and Techno were quite low on HP already, right? So it's easy to imagine if they were able to actually get on top of that boost, it could have resulted in a kill, and there could have been something to fight for in this round.
Оо суугаад орж ирсэн ч гэсэн. Унгаач.
Just holding on to the
Ah,
rifle
кавчлаа.
from here on out. The Mongols get 5 rounds on that T side. This is already starting to look like a proper comeback now. The Mongolians. And as we said, Inferno has been actually quite comfortable for the Mongols recently, right? Again, you got to go back in August for the last time, or well, not really August, but you got to go back to Rio. You got to go back in August if you want to look at the last time that they dropped an Inferno against a team that's probably not of the caliber of some of the best players in the world. And we still keep on wondering who that is, by the way. Probably someone like a GM from Imperial. We've gotten so many camera shots of him so far, but yeah, you're looking at the last 2 teams that were able to take down the Mongols on Inferno. It's Vitality and Eternal Fire. Vitality 17-19, Eternal Fire 11-13, 13-1 wins over Koi, Eternal Fire 13-4, Yanu 13-7, Bait 13-8.
За 3 тоглогч бэрөө
The enemy team has not been able to reach double digits. So
яа нээдүүд лөө. Ёо.
that utility is disgusting. Again,
Yeah.
can we just take a look at the util damage, please? I just want to.
Манайхан бүр байнга тэнд нь орох юм те.
That is great.
Муухай utility-нд
Mongols have suffered too. The anti-rush utility in previous rounds has obviously shut down the rounds themselves. At least this time they've only lost to 1 player on Senzu. The HP bars are limited. Look at Blitz.
тэрийг бариад аваач.
Engagements against Phelps are going to take Blitz. Techno with a response.
Дээрээс нь бод. Гой.
Techno boosts up.
Ее try.
But try has caught Mizzino. It's a 3 versus 2.
Яа decent.
And double up from Descenti. As he lines up one more.
7-5-аас илжлээ шүү.
Find the half at 7-5 at the turn.
You know what? On paper, I'll say, if you're the Mongols, you're actually so happy with 5 rounds out of, after that T side. Descenti had too many multi-kill rounds. The utility from Imperial was just way too good, and you're still able to make it that close. You're still able to stay in this one. It's just a great result, I feel like, for both sides. Yep. There's the applause from the mysterious man in the Imperial camp. Looks like a father figure.
Does look like a
За нэг мууж авал.
what's
Сэргээд шот бариад эхлэе guys.
like an old school like
7-5-аас л барина шүү дээ.
I guess actually no, actually scratch that because the monks don't have beards, do they? The monks don't have beards.
You know what? That was probably the last one on my list that I expected you to say.
It just looks like a wise man, like a philosopher, you know, like an old philosopher, old
An
and
E-star.
wise.
An
Yeah.
E-star for all of my Lord of the Rings fellas.
Блицэн камер дээр юм лайк гарч ирсэн.
Looks like he has a lot of things that he can teach you about life, right? Like and subscribe.
What is with? I don't understand why they've got that.
I don't know.
filter on.
You can't even like a stream on Twitch. Guys, again, send us a couple like emojis in the chat.
I think it's a camera filter on the Mongols cameras because it's only them that's had it to be fair.
Right.
За Blitz гоё.
Funny.
Техник хэл. Techno. Techno хоёрыг унгасан. Оо улаан тийч.
tagged up. There's 10 points of health. He's lost all of his teammates mostly. Tries right behind him. The bomb's been seen. CT backups on the way in from both the back lines and the back stab. Techno trying to find kills against them as they've quickly ripped apart the Mongolian squad.
За try тэр нэг эсрэг тав. Юм чадахгүй.
250 getting nowhere. Pistol win for the Mongols.
За манайхан гоё pistol round авлаа.
He's on 15 and 10. Considering how difficult the start was.
Одоо эргэжсэн pistol round авлаа ш.
Because of all the crazy multi-kill rounds. Senzu has been delivering constant impact with kills every single round. If they win it, if they lose it, Senzu's the one to get a kill. Techno had a great pistol round as well, but the level of consistency you're seeing out of Senzu here is absolutely great. Of course, he is supposed to be the best rifle, even though on the Mongols it's quite difficult to identify one player that's above everyone else.
7-6 гэдэг чи юу юм уу? 7-5-аар биш 6-6-аар барьсалсан юм биш тий? Оо nice юм яасан. Агомо. Солиотой юм бэ. Oh fuck. Imperial Монгол царийн лого солигдоогүй шүү дээ. Тэгтээ хамаагүй. Манайхан 7-7 болгоно. Лого солигдоогүй байсан байдаг шээ. Би бүр гайхлаа шүү дээ. 7-6 гэрн. What the fuck манайхан чи 6-6-аар солилцсон байсан юм шиг гэж бодлоо шүү дээ.
Third and final map of the series, loser goes home, winner goes over to Berlin. You wouldn't have it any other way, and you know there's going to be not as many smiles now in the Imperial camp. You're definitely happy about the performance that we saw in the first half from some of the individuals, but can you really rely on that to take you all the way? That's the big question, especially when the Mongols are starting to get fired up here.
Wow. Гой нейд. Та нар яагаад байлаа?
Imperial we can throw nades too. Try on for Vinny.
За энэ яадаг?
Advantage.
Шинэ smoke сурцгаая.
Techno is ready for the retaking utility. Right now Imperial are not exactly pushed up that far in Banana, so it's not required as of yet. It still can get thrown out in a moment's time.
Just softens you up so much. And it plays well. That retake set of Yuto is going to do so much damage as well. Smoke comes in.
Banana out game.
One player ahead of it though, and that's going to be hurt. Techno, HE, and now you know it's a double nade. A little bit of chip damage onto nowhere.
Шууд smoker зөрж гарангууд мол иддэг.
Just not going so far.
Shit өштэй.
Just one man. They just flashed one man in to try and force out a pick in the open, but as soon as they find nothing, Mongols.
Зогоо шүү full buy round-н дээр ингээд double nade-ээр нэг унаагаад нэг нь улаалгана гэдэг бол маш том даваа тал.
To the clock, and Senzu still has counter utility. A smoke to come in here towards this entrance, and Incendiary as well.
But smoke la davlaa.
Guys like Try can't move forward of that fire, and they'll put Molotovs out. Incendiary at the ready. You're right, it was failed. Land on.
За ороод гсоо. Молын дээр шатаад байгаа. Гуй. Пүү нейдэн дээр. Блиц. Хариугаа авсавс.
Now he's on 0 as the Mongols quickly claim the lead.
Зогоо шүү 8-7.
I just thought they wanted to molly triple with it. The molly actually worked out, but still the defense was good enough, right? I mean, look at the double nade. How do you really recover from something like that? And as you pointed out, they just did such a good job at holding on to the smokes, to the Molotovs, and Imperial had no choice whatsoever. The slowdown was actually not a bad call there.
Yeah, унтсан ачтай шүү.
Want to play into the hand of the Mongols, but still unable to deal with it. And now we're
Зоглоо ажилтай шүү дээ. Гэл тосхгүй л тий.
I remember the first couple. Okay, we're not going to talk about this.
Таг зүгээр. Хэмээ байх.
Oh dear. Well, at least no one from Imperial was far-full enough to punish it, so
it happens to the best.
Банаа тоглолтыг гартаа атгана.
It's a tribute to NA Counter-Strike. We love you. We appreciate you. You're not alone.
Гараад ирлээ тэр гартлаа тэр смокер гартлаа. Ёо. Дөрөв. Өөр байна уу? Өөр байна уу? Синзугийн. Хейс байна уу? Хайхаг бол ороод ирсэн. Синзу бүгдийн ал. Экнон гачиж байгаа юм. За зүгээр. 9-7. Манайхан 9 раундтай. 2 раунд дэргэлтэй болчихсон шүү. Энийг л танд харуулдаг юм даа гэж.
on middle. Yeah, everyone take a screenshot. Hashtag I was there. I saw it.
I think production's fully tilted 10.
That's great. No, you know what? I'm over exaggerating. Production is doing a lovely job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're making this one 5 times more entertaining than it already is.
За банана эзлэг үүсэ.
That's a big statement because this game has been absolute carnage.
Yeah, Imperial running away with the early game, but run out
Хүй.
of steam.
Хүү 910 блиц. Синзүүд чи банана дээр флейл вебсэг барьчлаа.
Senzu, 3 easy picks in brackets in banana. It's instantly a 2 versus 5, and it didn't take long to get there.
And that was a full buy. Let's not forget that. That was a full investment from Imperial. Rifles, utility. You're putting so much trust in
Oh,
everyone
nice
in this
nade.
round, and you're just getting
Вау, 900-аар гаргаж ирэнгүүт нөө
There
гачиж.
goes another one.
Трайг нугасан 5 эсрэг 1.
Misery right now. Imperial have
1 минут дотоо хад сейвлэх гэж байгаа юм байна одоо.
scratch since the first half, since the beginning of the first half. What was that? A 6-1 lead for Imperial at one point? Was it?
It was 6-2.
Right.
Pistol conversion there for Mongols, but pretty
Oh,
close
yeah.
regardless.
Yeah, 6-2 lead. And now we're looking at the 10-7, and Decenty might not even
Аа,
survive here.
дистийн чарга амар мохоо
Hide
зөрчилж
into
тайминг
the kitchen and
чивгүй.
Just looking at them. Just look at them on the mini-map. Just a group of Mongolian sharks, and there's blood in the water. Decenty nowhere to hide, nowhere to run.
Techno.
You're not getting out of here.
Оо
alive.
амар.
There goes the peak, and it's a Ferrari one from Techno. No guns saved up, no bomb plant. You didn't even get close to a bomb site.
Number 10 for the Mongols. Imperial losing their grip on this series and in the Thunderpick World Championship. Mongols have surged ahead with nothing being found here in this second half.
Камер нот
It
чи.
has been domination from the Mongolian side. A tactical pause has to get called in by the Brazilians because they're about to start seriously running out of chances to keep themselves in the tournament. Got one more in their back pockets, but what is the answer here?
I'm not sure. And you know what's the worrying thing? Now if you're Imperial, you recall what was going on in the first half when you were having all that success for the 6 consecutive rounds on the CT side. And we were having that conversation as well. Now you're seeing the reason why the Mongols didn't go for a tactical timeout. They just knew that is unsustainable. They just knew, okay, we're going into the bomb sites, we're making the right calls, we're going for the right place. There's just individuals popping off on the side of Imperial. There's nothing we can do about that, but Decenty's probably not going to end the entire map with just getting multi-kills every single time. And if you remember, 7 rounds in, Decenty
Яник
has
гэл
14
хэлтэй.
kills. He's on 18 right now.
Дөрвөн гар
Everyone
боо,
in Imperial has slowed down massively from an individual point of view. No way is still on 1 kill. Mongols have just been playing the better game of pure Counter-Strike so far.
За апсар үсрэх энэ.
It's not the individuals. I don't know what saves Imperial right now.
Сайхан гараад.
Burn twice as bright, last half as long.
Татгсаа болчих.
3 rounds that are good on the Mongol side. Imperial taking nade damage potential.
За мэд эзэлсэн.
Departments pop out if they want to hold out this mid presence and try set with the bomb on his back. They're not looking to press this angle. They're not looking to charge out of here. It might be a more consorted execution.
Running out of veto.
За шортор нэг апсар 2.
Flashing in towards long, engaging against 9-10. He'll back away, look towards the apartments. Mazzino's good for a kill.
За амзын яа арчараад өгсөн байгаа. Арч бол дачиж байгаа юм байна.
2 pistols left standing, a Tech 9 and a Glock.
За энэ бүр
Make their way back in.
араасаа уссан Philips.
Senzu makes quick work of
За гой.
the Mongols.
17 шүү guys. Бариш тажиш.
Here on the precipice of the big W.
Yeah, the big W is right. This is just textbook Counter-Strike on the CT side from the Mongols right now. And Imperial, they just used their final flash to clear out long, had nothing to go out of the apartments. The moment that you get shut down as the first player trying to jump out, no one else is going to get out of there, and you knew it. The Mongols are just looking so comfortable right now, and Senzu's just taking away that Decenty MVP medal. 24-10, another buy round for Imperial. This is your last hope, this is your last chance.
Smoke нас ямар амар байлтна.
blitz down mid will continue the blind sprays. Meanwhile, Techno's involved towards Banana, seeing a player. The HG's landing up top mid as well. Try on left banana.
Хүү тэр флаш нээр орчлоо. Тэгсэн чинь Сензу.
Oh my god.
Хоёрыг
Oh, you just can't catch a break, Imperial.
Сензу хоёрыг нагаад авсан.
Just like the Mongolian god of death right now in towards Banana. You can't get past him. You can't escape him. No matter what you do, where you go, what you try, how you approach it, he's always there. Inevitable, silent, deadly. Same as
Хүү амар инзинья. Ямар гой спрей контрол вэ?
And that's been the story for this entire second half of Inferno.
За дуусгая guys. Ганцхан раунд. Бразилчууд бараагаад эхэлсэн.
Outplayed, outclassed, outshot, outmaneuvered, destroyed.
Wow. That's all
Say
I've
that
really got
again.
to say about it at this particular stage.
Master Roshi.
Oh my god.
Эре.
I can't believe I didn't even think about that. I can't believe I didn't
Why
even think
did we
about
wait
that.
for him to be on the precipice of elimination to
Yeah,
do
I'm
that?
trying to be
It just
serious
feels
here,
like BM.
Imperial are about to get eliminated, and here we are.
We're talking about an $850,000 tournament. They're one round away from elimination. Oh my goodness. Master Yoshi in the flesh.
Oh dear.
За тийч юу болоод энэ нэмзэн яагаад болооч юу?
CS podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Фүү.
Dynamic World Championship. Senzu caught dead first to Phelps' aggression up towards Banana. Imperial.
Бананаар гүйчлээ.
With opportunity to make 5 in a row happen, but they could actually get this first round first and foremost. Trying to Sensi are tagged up here. And Techno back in the back line.
Зя.
Gonna swing out wide, run into 2 players. No way's gonna
Сумг
catch the
болчихлоо.
kill. Zeno next up behind the smoke.
Яа.
Blitz flashed in, getting just
Улаан. Дөрвөн улаан. Яа.
HP bars on the T side. And Imperial have forced out survival for now.
You'd think in that pause before the start of the round in the freeze time, he just said, Exo.
Please, Ted.
I'm sorry, I'm not the one that started this, you know. I'm not the one you can blame production for all of that.
Yeah, shout out to Big Fu and Otosh who have been handling us over the course of the week.
Yosh.
За нэг раунд байна guys.
That's gonna live rent free in my mind, that whole clip, but at least the
Yep.
rest of the year.
Yep.
Alongside
You
that
know what's the
Twitch
best
track.
part about all of this? Now they've played this. There's no way we can make it worse. Oh my god. Well, with the power of friendship in anime, Imperial have won their 8th round.
Literally the power of anime.
That's why you need anime profile pictures, ladies and gentlemen. See, we're taking a look at some cultural characters right there, and they get around with 5 alive.
За нэг раунд.
You tune into the Thunderpick World Championship, you get top quality Counter-Strike and some world-class banter.
It's funny because we didn't have any of this when me and Dwayne were casting. I'm pretty sure it's because of you, Ted, that we're getting all these amazing moments.
I'll take it as a compliment. Because I'm asking for it. Bring it on. Give me more.
Want to make up for Imperial, and they've got their rifle buy. It's still limited on a Galil for the Sensi, and the M4 for Try that to get saved over. Mongols keeping themselves as far away as they can without taking damage or losing prowess, losing an opening pick, because Imperial, when they seize that, they'll smell blood in the water and go straight in for the round itself. Early stances will keep them held away from the bomb site.
За банана эзэлж чинь. Imperial.
Now it's back to reality. Now it's back to serious business.
Болчлоо.
8-12.
Нагийн амгалт нар 3 байгаа.
To try and force OT, and the Mongols are rotating blitz back to that B bomb site. You have no presence in towards Banana, but you still have that 9-10-0 posted in towards short.
Short руссан. V1 манад авсан.
He's tagged low, Incendiary is getting in the way here, and the HE coming around that corner will dish out some damage, not a huge amount, but still chunky onto No Way and Phelps. 9-10 AWP on the bomb site. Blitz also involved back here towards Wine. Molotovs on bomb site and on towards back lines. AK in for Messina.
За 950.
PG50 is good. AWP taking a shot on Try. He lands the leg, not the full-blown frag here, but Try is extremely low and so is Vinny.
Пи 250 гэх гэж байгаа 950 гэж. За нэг улаан байгаад байгаа.
And he's been immortal so far. 911
911 нэрийг Пи 250 нэртэй хайлж идэг шээстэй. Сайт нэг байгаа сонсчлаа даа. Йоо энэ бүр ямар амар юм. Оо тос. What? Тикно. Яа игээд байгаа юм бэ? За энэ ингээ манай монголцынхан Thunder Big World Championship 2025 тэмцээн дээр Imperial багийг 2-1 харьцаагаар ялж инхүү плей-оффын шүүгийн 4-ийн нэг баг болж тодорч байна. Яа. За ингээд лангийн мейн ивент дээр дөрөгдөхөр монголч. Баяр. За тэгээд өнөөдөр стрим өндөрлөхөөс өмнө өнөөдрийн спонсор Keydrop байла. Keydrop CS2-ын кейсийг нэгэд дотроос нь гоё юмнууд нэг хооломжтой энэ хутга унаад штэ хүмүүс хутга унгаагаад штэ энэ ой. За тэгээд та бүхэн giveaway-д оролцохоо битгий мартаарай.
It's kind of crazy to think that Imperial are the ones that are getting coached by Master Roshi, but it is the Mongols that end up going super.
За, giveaway-д оролцохын тулд join now дараад. За тэгээд энэ find search хэсгээр нь шууд MaaRaa гэдэг ангууд миний giveaway гараад ирнэ. За тэгээд 3 хоногийн турш үргэлжлэнэ. $35 front site misty minimal wear front site mist-ийг giveaway-д оролцсон байгаа. Тэгэхээр та бүхэн оролцоод энэ чи цөөхөн оролцох гэж бодож чинь тэгээд ялагчлаад гоё скины эзэн болоорой. Шаардлага нь бол та бүхэн $2-оор deposit хийгээд MaaRaa гэсэн промо кодыг ашиглахад болно. Deposit ихтэй заавал $2 гэхгүйгээр шууд Steam-ийнхаа дотор байгаа хэрэггүй item ч гэдэг юм уу скинэрээ deposit хийгээд орох боломжтой. За тэгээд дээрээс нэмэлдэхэд бол $2 түүнээс дэш deposit хийсэн тохиолдолд 10% deposit бонус дээрээс нь нэмээд 50 цент 2 кейс өнгө онгоолох эрх өгнө. Тэгээд миний промо кодыг ашиглаад бүртгүүлээрээ залуусаад тэгээ бас өнгө кейсүүдийн бас онгоолгоод үзчихээд бас гэмгүүлтэй тий. За тэгээд дараагийн стримерээр гээд уулзцай залуусаад түр баяртай guys.